What's up, everyone? How's it going?
Hey, not too bad. How's everybody going? Doing. I can't speak.
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Been a
It's pretty good.
interesting week.
Yeah, it always is. It always is. Nice,
Yeah.
hot. Hopefully everybody's staying dry. Drink a lot of water.
Actually, yeah, that's funny. I've been buying these big jugs of water, drinking these. That's what I've been doing here recently.
I have that for work, and then I just have a tap water going through a filter at home. So,
Yeah, I need to do
you
that.
essentially you already pay for it, so why not take advantage of it?
Buying bottled water, the biggest scam in history.
Partially, I guess it depends on what you're doing, but usually, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I like to buy like gallon water, and then I can drink that for like a day or two, essentially.
What's up, Mr. Coffee? Welcome to the
And yeah,
podcast. This is
welcome.
episode 92. We should probably say that.
The big 9-2.
We're 8 episodes away from 100. It's crazy. I just can't believe it. It feels
Yeah,
unreal that we've been doing this 2 years.
that is crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff, man. When you think about it like
No,
that.
definitely.
Uh,
Probably should address it. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's asking, "Hey, why there's not a podcast?" Last week.
yeah, I was definitely sick. I've done several podcasts having COVID and being sick, but I absolutely could not do it. I couldn't even get out of bed. I was like, my body hurt. I was a mess. So that's what happened with last week. So we definitely apologize about that. I hate missing episodes. So bothered me for a couple of days, but at least I feel better than I did. Johnny says, "I wish you could stay on. Friends coming from Orange County. Well, you have a good evening, man."
Definitely.
I'm feeling all right. Mr. Coffee still got some. Still don't feel great, but I'm definitely better than Friday last week. I'll say that. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, so I guess we'll just go ahead and get started, right?
Let's just dig right in. All right, all right, all right.
What do we got first?
So we got some stuff about Halo meets Portal is what it looks like.
Well, hey, first, make sure you head on over to the social
Oh,
media and follow on all those: the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that jazz. Just put a new Instagram reel up a couple hours ago. So go check out all that, and then please, if you guys have any of the audio platforms, we're on. I think I've actually counted 22 of them now. Because there's just like these like weird apps that we're even on and stuff like that doesn't even show on Buzzsprout. But if you're on any of those, a lot of them you can follow, and then the downloads help and are very hard to get, and we're getting very good downloads. We charted again, which is insane. We charted 3 for gaming for that week.
that's really good.
Yeah, there's no reason we should do that. But definitely if you go download and help us out, I mean that's massive. Very appreciative of that. Like the numbers on the audio side of things like blew my mind. I couldn't believe the amount that we got in just the past 7 days, and like that, like a couple of months ago that was like the combined of 60 episodes. So we're doing good. We're doing good. But yeah, if you have any of those, definitely download on there, follow on any of those platforms. Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts went away. There's iHeartRadio. There's all kinds of them. I've actually got a folder here. I can read some of these off where I put them. So we're on TuneIn Radio, which is actually Tesla's built-in thing, but it has an app too. You got Pandora, Castbox, Amazon Music, Audible, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Good Pods, Castro, Podcast Republic, Podorama, RSS Radio. It just keeps going on. There's several more. I'm not going to read all these, but actually I put them all in a folder so I could count because I'm like, this is way more than advertised, and we're on every single one of these. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and dive into the news. You want to get start that off, Mark?
Yeah, so we got some news. apparently Splitgate developer. They said they're gonna essentially launch a sequel to its hit indie shooter sometime next year. They just gave it 2025 launch date. Essentially it's gonna be called Splittergate 2, as far as we know, but it's like a mix between essentially Halo and Portal. Sorry,
I
it's on
loved
my
it.
throat.
I loved it. I played it right when it came out, and I loved Splitgate. I quickly fell off because I'm not into the multiplayer type games that much, but I
Yeah.
did play a good bit of it, and it was a blast. It felt like old school Halo. Like it was good. Um, and it did exactly. It felt like Halo meets Portal. That's what it felt like.
I don't want to be mean, but obviously on their main screen where it says, "Hey, wishlist it now," essentially, uh, one of the main characters, one of the dudes, looks like it's like a rip off of like Ninja on their little screen.
oh really?
I thought it was fun. I don't even know if it's I doubt it's actually ripped from him. They're giving him money, but I saw the inspiration. It's just me personally.
Well, yeah, but that'll happen sometimes.
Just take an inspiration. We didn't rip
Yeah.
off your likeness.
Also, we should let everybody know we are 69 days away from the next Zelda game coming out. Nice.
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 What are the odds?
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I was gonna show. Obviously, audio listeners can't see, but so for the last, let me see here. Last week, 2,121 downloads there of Buzzsprout. So pretty crazy numbers. Yeah, 69 days away from the next Zelda, so that's pretty cool, I guess. I'm excited about that game.
Can't go wrong with more Zelda.
Absolutely not.
But no, I guess we also have some news about a leaked information about essentially BioShock 4. It's been a hot minute since we got BioShock Infinite was the game that came out.
Yeah.
I feel like that came out on the 360 era of consoles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it came out on 360.
I was sitting there thinking, I think we were still in high school when that game came out. Like, it's crazy. It's been so
I actually
long.
didn't like that one, but people generally love that one. My favorite's the first one.
Yeah, you say that because there was at least as far as what IGN had a poll about, like, hey, what's your favorite game? And, of the 13,500 people that they had, just shy of 52% said BioShock 1.
Oh,
Another
really?
31% said Infinite, and then, 17% said, BioShock 2.
Usually I hear people say that Infinite is their favorite. I didn't think it was a bad game. It just didn't feel like BioShock anymore to me. It felt like a different game. That was
Maybe they're
my
trying
problem.
to, evolve and grow, because I don't know, there's only so much you can do. I've only ever played the first BioShock. I bought all of them on a Steam sale really cheap. I haven't actually launched 2 or Infinite, but I played BioShock 1. It was okay. Maybe it's because it had been like a decade after it came out. But I don't know, it didn't grab me. I thought it was a good game, but it didn't like blow my mind away or something like that. But I didn't play it when it first launched, so maybe that's why it didn't grab me.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I don't know. It was the kind of creepy factor of not really knowing what's going on going through the game. You know what I mean? It's a brand new IP.
Yeah.
Once it's been out for a while and you've seen so many images, it just doesn't impact you probably the same way that when this game's first coming out. You don't know that much about it. Everybody's experiencing it together for the first time, and
Yeah, I already kind of been spoiled on a few things before I even played the game because it had been so long, so that it definitely didn't help.
yeah.
But as far as 2K kind of told us about a sequel, all the way back in 2019, but they've been kind of silent ever since. So obviously this leak kind of says, hey, BioShock 4 is like still in the work, it's still coming, but there's no like really information past that we really got. It's just hey, there's another game coming. Just wait a little longer essentially.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally no news about it other than like just a random image, but at least we know it is still coming. Because to be honest with you, I forgot about it. I forgot it was even a thing
They
happening.
mention it and then they just hey, we're working on this game, and then you don't hear anything for like 5 years.
It worries me though, because 2K man has really they've jacked a lot of stuff up over the years since BioShock 1 and 2 came out. So I don't know. I don't trust them like I used to.
Yeah, I
They're
guess I'll
not the,
say this: what do you think they're gonna like? What direction do you think they'll go with?
they
You know,
got to go
a new Bioshock game.
it's got to go right back to the way that BioShock 1 was. It's got to I feel like it has to. To
You really
me,
think they're gonna stick with that? They're not gonna be like, hey, it's Bioshock in space or something like that. We'll rip off another game.
I hope not. I don't know. It's hard to say. I
Because
would think that they would go back to the style of one, cuz you compare 1 to Infinite and they're totally different games. Like to me, the tone of the game, just the colors of the game, the way that 1 looks like it's just kind of scary and creepy and
yeah,
the
it kind of has that like a
it's got a horror
steampunk.
vibe. Yes,
It's got like a steampunk horror. Is kind of like the
yeah.
feelings I got from it.
Yeah.
More from Infinite than the first one. Uh, at least from what I've seen, because I've only ever actually played the first one. But that's just kind of feel. But I feel like you could get a vibe from the first game. Say it's just like an abandoned city on the moon or something like that. You could still have that same kind of feeling and kind of have a whole different environment and stuff like that. Story wise, I don't know how you'd make it work, but in theory, on its abandoned space station or a city in space, essentially, you could, if you wanted to go back to the original game and then you're trying to like figure out what happened or something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess the idea is, do you stay more with the horror aspect from the first one, or you do lean more towards what they did in their sequels?
Yeah, I'd be interested to find out what direction they're going in. I absolutely love BioShock 1 so much so that my gamer tag from the beginning of me owning an Xbox is BioDeath7. It's always been that. I've never
Oh wow,
changed it. Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I took the bio from it cuz I loved it so much. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see them return kind of to form. I just didn't care for Infinite. Just didn't feel like BioShock to me. It's a good game, but to me, it just didn't feel like BioShock. So I don't know.
You're saying you're gonna be bad when it's like, oh, BioShock live service.
And to be honest with you, like I honestly I could care less if they make another one or not. I can just go back and play BioShock. Like to me, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's always a possibility.
To me it just these days like I'm not gonna go get upset about. There's so many dumb decisions made. I'd be upset all the time.
Yeah, I get the feeling they're gonna make something. They're gonna do something different. They're not gonna go back to what they've already done. And I think a lot of
count me out.
I think there's more time goes on, the more gamers that will probably end up playing it probably haven't played any of these games. So
yeah, I don't know how they haven't. They've been on Game Pass. They've been on. I mean,
yeah, but
everything.
if you go to the most people who are your casual gamers, so quotations essentially, they're not going to go back and play some of these older games. They're going to play a handful of games that come out every year, and that's it.
Fake
but I don't know.
news.
Maybe it's the cynic in me coming out.
You're not a cynic. Quit it.
I'm not. I'm a realist.
You're a silly little goose.
Realistically, none of these people, none of these younger kids have probably played them. It's kind of where I'm
That's you right there.
Yeah, except I don't have a fat ass.
No, but speaking of which, we should that's a good transition. Let's talk about that Deadpool controller. What you see those? Oh my god!
I did get around to seeing it.
Yeah,
crazy.
it's on our thumbnail. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, we got the console on there, but it doesn't show the controllers. But holy crap, it's a cool looking console. But the controllers obviously are like a novelty. There's no way that those would be remotely comfortable to use.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I saw it. I'm like, how is that gonna ergonomically work? Like it just mess with your fingers and stuff like that.
It just looks hilarious. They call it cheeky controller. But I will say the console looks really cool though.
So. I think they should actually sell this. They would make a lot of money if they just came out and sold them.
To be honest with you, what's crazy is Xbox is the only one that has been doing these limited, because they had that Sonic one we just talked about before the podcast.
Yeah,
they put out a bunch. They did the SpongeBob. That wasn't a giveaway one though. That was one you could buy, but you saw what happened. And I called it before. I said this is going to be $1,000+. It's going to sell out of me. Yep, you go try to find it now, $1,200. people love the variants of consoles. I do too myself. Like I've got a few. I've got the uh R2D2 Xbox 360 with the C3PO controller, and when you open the disc tray, it makes the R2D2 sound. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. Probably to me one of the coolest like special edition consoles ever. But no, Xbox has been banging it out of the park with these special like limited, giveaway consoles that are like really cool. They did like that 24 karat gold one, and um yeah, pretty cool stuff. So, what was this about? You say something about Trump and Twitch. What's up? What happened with that?
I don't know what happened. This happened years ago, but apparently I did see it in the past thing that apparently Twitch is like officially unbanned uh, Donald Trump's Twitch account, which I don't know who was actually going there to was watching that channel to begin with.
Yeah, probably a lot of people. I tell you, who it was
came.
Bruce Springsteen.
I think it came out. It's one of those Twitch like automatic tweeters, like, oh, this person's banned or this person's now unbanned thing is kind of where it popped out, because I don't know who's paying attention to that.
Yeah.
But I don't think he ever actually really used it.
Been a crazy week with all that stuff. We ain't gonna get into it, but my God, that's all you hear about all week. Holy crap! It's been a week, hasn't it? If you're
it feels like it.
If you're into politics, my God, you're having a ball this week. I can tell you that. Man, the amount of conspiracy theories I've heard this week.
You hate it when
What was that?
That's not actually playing the background like when Mike picked it up.
Oh,
no, it's just crazy.
Yeah. All right. What else?
Don't worry, you gotta put on tinfoil hat.
Yeah, tinfoil.
Put in waters.
Alex Jones, unban Alex Jones off of Twitter, please. Bring him back.
Need a good laugh in my day. No, I guess. So College Football 25 just came out today, and obviously, if you paid more than the $70 for the game, which I think is like the $100 or $120, price tags they had on top of those, you could get the game 3 days early. So as it stands right now, this is before today's numbers, the official launch. 2.2 million people have paid the $100 plus price tag to get early access to this game. And I think I wanted to double check. So they've already, before the game officially launched, College Football 25 made over at least $200 million in just the 3 days leading up to the official release, which is insane. I mean, you talk about like, hey, let's just pay an extra $30 to get it 3 days early. Apparently there's over 2 million people that are like, yeah, no, here, I'll pay extra money for a game that I'm just not patient enough to wait to save money on.
I don't. We talked about this before, and you've gone on rants about it. It's the dumbest thing ever to pay to play 3 days early.
Like, I get it. The last College Football game we got was NCAA 14, so it's been a decade. But like, an extra 30.
It's another football game.
$30 for 3 days.
I don't get it. I mean, like, I get the excitement for this, but I don't get with any game the paying for 3 days early. I'm paying $100.
Extra $30 on top of the base game just for 3 days.
That's crazy to me. Oh my God. And I mean, this game's going to be, $20 in 2 months.
This game, if it's already made over 200 million now, I wouldn't be surprised if this game sells over $1 billion. Makes over $1 billion in sales.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It's been a long time, so like, definitely expected big sales on this, but I wasn't expecting that before it came out.
It's something around that, but I'm just sitting here. I'm like, yeah, but it's been a decade since we've had one of these games, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends up breaking records. It hits that casual market is where you're gonna make all your money. So
yeah, it's
I guess we'll see ultimately where it lands, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is like after its first weekend it made over $500 million. It would not surprise me.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either at this point. It's pretty.
At this point, I'm kind of expecting like, oh yeah, next week, like, oh yeah, this game sold like $800 million. It made $800 million in its first week. Like, that's insane.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not picking it up right now. I'm not paying full price for a sports game, but are you picking it up?
I haven't made up my mind yet, to be fair.
I just
I
can't
already
do
have a
it.
lot of other games I want to play. Like, I do because I like college football, but it's
I
like
do
one of those
too,
things
but
where
I just
if I do pick up this game, it's like I'm not getting another game for like another 10 years. Until I need to get another console where I can't, that's not backwards compatible,
it's
I'll probably just stick with the one.
what's funny is that they've already the roster update is out for NCAA 14, so like you can get the roster update.
Yeah, but I think
for it.
those are like a lot of those are like fan made. Like those are like
Well, yeah, of course it is, but
community
it's still
done
being
stuff.
it's still being played. That's why those are so expensive because they're being kept up by the fans.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure these new games is gonna make that market kind of tank as less people
Oh, it is for sure.
need to go back to those older games because like
For
I got a
sure.
new game now, so there's no need to because if you wanted to play a college football game, you had to go at the earliest 2014, or an older game or something like that. So
Yeah,
and you had to go back a whole 2 generations of consoles.
I still don't like the name though. Just calling it college football. I don't know. I'm so
Pretty sure
used
that's to
to
do
the.
with licensing.
It, it has to. It has to.
They don't need to go through the NCAA. They probably don't want to.
Yeah.
NCAA is a terrible organization, but
It is.
it's a whole unrelated tangent.
So we've got all right. So did you see the stuff this week about Emio?
This I didn't until earlier today.
All right. So yeah, this was weird because just this random Nintendo tweeted out this random image, and people were like all speculating. They gave no context to this image, and it's this creepy looking guy with a bag over his head, and he's got like a drawn on face. And there was no information on it or anything. And then 2 days later, so I think yesterday or the day before, they revealed that it's a brand new Famicom Detective Club game called
Crazy
Emio the Smiling Man. It's insane that they're making a new game for the series from the Famicom.
Hey, if your favorite franchise can come back after 35 years with this, maybe there's other franchises that still have a chance.
Dude, this is like one of the last ones ever that I would imagine to get a sequel from Nintendo. You know what I mean? This is like most people don't even know because these are like visual novel type games. So like that didn't come out over here and nobody played it. If you didn't read Japanese, you couldn't play them. There were fan translations for these eventually, and I've got them on my EverDrive, but it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I saw this. I'm like, there's definitely, I mean, probably not a really expensive game to make, based off like the type of game it is. But I'm sure there's a dedicated fan base in Japan that this game probably got made for. So if it does well in Japan, it'll probably make its money back, and then whatever else it does outside of it, which I don't think will be a whole lot. This game probably doesn't need to sell a whole lot to make money. So to Nintendo will make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be like a big seller, and I think they kind of know that. They know it's like a niche audience. It's a visual novel at the end of the day, but the thing is about these, typically I don't like visual novels, but there are exceptions to ones like Touch Memory on the DS, which is actually called what is it? It came out on the Switch now. They remade it with the second one. What's it? It's got a different.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. Anyway, it just came out a few months ago. I still got to pick that up, but I played that on the DS when it came out, and I love that. And this is like, what's different is it's like take like Sherlock Holmes, mix it in with like a weird sort of thriller thing that involves like some teenagers, younger people or whatever. And apparently this one is focused around this central guy named Emio. But it is a visual novel, so it's for a niche audience, but it's the kind that I would play. Like 95% of them I'm uninterested in, but this one I am. However, I don't know that I'll get this like right when it comes out. Like I might wait to get a deal or something. It's not something I'm like crazy excited for, but it's cool for sure. I mean, it's like an obscure series, so it makes me happy.
Yeah. Plus, I'm like, yeah, they got small fan bases, but these aren't generally really expensive games. So, you can, spend not a lot of money. It's not going to make a lot of money probably, but, make, a niche game for a niche fan base and stuff like that. Plus, I'm sure the Nintendo Switch Online helps invigorate, interest in older series and stuff like that. So, I'm sure that definitely helps. I don't know if there's something if one of these games is already on there or they're planning to bring it on there, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, they remade the first game and it's on Switch.
Yeah, so I guess they did that and
Yeah.
sparked interest or enough that they saw be like,
It must
okay,
have sold
we can
enough
make a
for
new
them
game
to So
to green light this.
yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool for sure. So
But past that, I don't have unfortunately don't have a whole lot to say about it.
you don't have a whole lot to say about anything, it seems like these days.
I'm just not cultured enough, apparently.
No, you're not. You have no culture. You're not a J vlogger, so I don't care.
So stupid.
Let me check comments here real quick for live viewers. We got Mr. Coffee said politics is weird time now. So what about one of you guys tearing your shirt off, yelling out, "Retromania is coming for you, brother! Retromania is coming for you, brother!"
He said that. I was like, I know exactly where that came from.
Have you seen how fast that old NCAA 14 price has been dropping? Yeah, it dropped down way down. A month ago, it fetched around 100 complete in box. Now loose, it's selling around $15.
Yeah, like if you want to make money off it, you should have sold it like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I sold.
Or the moment you heard about a new game, and like, okay, I better sell now while I can still make a profit.
Yeah.
Well, if you sold it for $100 when you could, you essentially paid for the game itself.
I think I sold mine for 80. So
I'm like, hey, if you want to wait a year, College Football 25 this time next year, probably about $15.
I just had it sitting on the shelf. Like I wasn't playing it. I wasn't doing the updated roster and stuff. I didn't.
Oh, you're not now gonna be like, I have to get every single copy every single year of college football as a new, weird, hyper aggressive obsession.
Absolutely.
Like I'm gonna collect all of them on
I've
every
already
system physical.
I used to have a whole giant shelf that was all PS2 sports games. Just all the football games, all the baseball games, all the basketball games. It's one long shelf. I still have a bunch of them, but it was ridiculous. They just sat there. I didn't play that crap.
Yeah,
I wasn't going back.
And you say that, it just made me think of like Scott LaWaz's like obsession with was it Madden 08?
Oh yeah, yep.
At least when he was still doing those videos or something like that. Which is,
I love him. He's one of the genuinely, like, how do I put this? He's funny, unique, and different. You know what I mean? He's one of those.
Definitely.
He's a different type of YouTuber, and he's here in Ohio, which is crazy.
Yeah, because he blew up like out of nowhere.
I think he lives by Dave Chappelle too. I think he lives in.
I thought he lived up north.
Well,
like northwest Ohio is where I thought.
It's Yellow Springs, right? Yellow Springs. That is up north, isn't it?
I
don't know. Anyway, that's pretty cool stuff. Might have to try to. It's actually funny. When we were having guests every week on the podcast, I actually could not find anybody that had a contact for him, so I couldn't. I was going to invite him on, and I never like really tried, but yeah, I couldn't find anybody with a contact for him. So he kind of like lays low to himself, which is kind of cool. I like that. So I like him. He's sweet.
No, yeah, he's definitely good. I enjoy watching his stuff.
Yeah, and I like all the weird Nintendo.
Even if you
stuff.
disagree with his take on RPGs.
Yeah, he's got weird takes on stuff, but he also like loves the weird Nintendo stuff that I do too. He just doesn't like any of the RPGs.
It's like I'm not an RPG guy, but I remember, speaking of what we got coming up next, I do remember him doing some videos on those Chibi Robo games. Or was it the Wii and the DS or something like that?
Yeah, hold on. Go ahead and talk about this.
Okay. So those that don't know, back around the Wii OG DS era, Chibi Robo was a really, I don't know if it's super popular, like quasi popular, at least from what I remember, game series that came out. But I think it only had like one really good game, and it may have been on the GameCube, if I'm not mistaken. It was like critically the best game.
Yeah. I would say that there are two very good games. The one, Park Patrol on the DS, I think is an extremely underrated, underappreciated hidden gem. It was a Walmart exclusive game. It's weird.
Just weird.
Yeah, but I loved it. I actually liked it more than the GameCube game, but the GameCube game is awesome too. And it's obviously it's expensive because it didn't sell at the time.
Yeah,
But it's really fun. It's really, really fun.
Isn't like one of the worst ones? Like they made like a platformer on one of the
That's
DS
what I was
games.
trying to grab, but I actually just sold it and I forgot. Yeah,
I
it's
remember that
called
not getting doing
Zip.
well.
What's it? Zip. It came with an amiibo in the box. I can't remember. Zip something. But yeah, I just sold it. It was a 3DS game.
Oh, Ziplash. Sorry,
Yeah,
I had to pull
yeah,
it up.
it's really bad. I had a loose copy of it too and played it, and it's just terrible. That was unfortunate, but the box is kind of cool. But I just literally just sold it last week.
Chibi Herb was just not a platformer, at least in that retrospect.
It could work, but the way that they did it, just I didn't like it. That was pretty bad. But yeah, no, this is really cool. I like spiritual successors. I like that term, and I like when people try to do that for these, especially for these like niche, cult classic games, and when you have developers that actually worked on the original game, and literally the screenshots look like the game. Like, it's pretty exciting. So this is like the indie type of stuff like I like to see, man.
Yeah, so they came out and announced. I guess the new game should be called not Chibi Robo, but Co Robo.
Yeah,
essentially, it's like I don't know, I guess you could say it's like a spiritual successor. Like that's what they called it.
Yeah, spiritual successor. Yeah,
because it looked like from some of the screenshots and stuff that we got, it looked like it's going back more towards the GameCube game with the more more open world kind of feel and stuff like that, where you're like a small little robot, the size of like a small little action figure that's like 3 inches tall, just like running around a house or apartment, just doing whatever.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's going for that vibe, which is really cool because it's obviously you're just in a house, but it's like a giant space because you're so small. And you get to check everything. It's really weird and unique, and it's really fun. You have to charge up so that your battery doesn't die. So you got to find like an outlet and things like that along the way. And yeah, I think it's really, really cool that they're doing this. It's going to be PC and modern consoles. They actually didn't say all the consoles it's going to be on, just as PC and consoles. But
yeah, because they came out and said
I was hoping it would come out on DS, but
yeah, they're launching a crowdfunding on Kickstarter starting the 22nd of July. So it's what, Monday, Tuesday? No, it's Monday. So yeah, starting Monday on Kickstarter, you can go and help them essentially fundraise for this game. It'd be great if Nintendo would get involved, but it doesn't.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't look like that's gonna happen.
Never.
Something tells me they went to Nintendo to make an actual proper Chibi Robo game, and then they got told no.
Guaranteed.
So now they had to slightly change the name
because Ziplash sold so bad. Well, no kidding. It's not even the same type of game that you develop. Like, it's not even close to the GameCube game.
I mean, speaking of like old games, I mean, it's not like Nintendo's like obviously the last game we talked about. It's like they're immune to going back to really old IPs, but I don't know. Maybe if this actually does really well,
but their Famicom Detective Club, like
makes no sense. I guess the idea of like I don't know if this game comes out in like 2028 and it does fairly well for an indie game, maybe it'll invigorate interest in Chibi Robo proper. Maybe by 2035 we'll actually have another Chibi Robo game. At that point it'll have been like 25 years.
That long. I won't even be around anymore by then.
It's only another 10 years. What are you talking about?
I don't know, dude. I'm
getting late 30s, early 40s.
I don't know, but I'll be like 56. All right.
Look, I'm being pessimistic.
We've got. All right. So, what do you know about Monopoly Go?
I know Monopoly is one of the most toxic board games I've ever played.
Toxic.
Whether it's on a board game or it's on a video game, this game kind of like Uno ends friendships. I've seen quite a few games end with just throwing the board against a wall. Whatever, I'm done.
Okay.
No, for this one, it looks like a really simplified game of Monopoly. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, so the reason I put this in here, all my family plays this, and they like go back and forth. It's like one of those daily type games where you make your moves and stuff, and you wait for the other person to do it.
Oh, kind of like you do like on a phone or like on Facebook Messenger or something.
Yeah, like that. So like they'll make their move when they're on break at work or something like that, and they just like go back and forth all the time. And they've been playing it for like a year, but none of them has spent money. We just talked about this. None of them have spent a dime on But I was talking about how people have to be buying stuff for these games to keep them alive. They're not giving you a game to play for free all the time. They didn't understand the concept of people actually paying for stuff in the game. I'm like, I know people have spent thousands of dollars in free games. You know what I mean? Like dumb
it's the
stuff.
whole
Because
it's
they
not
gotta
a free
make
game.
money.
It's
Free to
freemium, so it's
yeah.
free to get. You have to pay money, or you're just gonna have a bad time.
And then it's got like the weird like timed stuff too, where you can unlock it quicker or whatever and make your move quicker.
Yeah.
I've never even downloaded it, but the thing is they're making a board game of the mobile game based on the board game. So
Yeah, not convoluted at all.
it's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It looks different though. Like it doesn't look like Monopoly. So I've never played this, so this must be what it looks like in the game. But it looks way different than like a normal Monopoly game.
Oh yeah, like not even close to the same thing.
Apparently, it's the #1 mobile board game of 2023.
I mean, at that point, just get Monopoly on the Switch. At that point, you'll have a better time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's a little different, but it didn't seem too bad. Maybe like I doubt I'll actually go around and get it, but that's just me. I'm the weirdo.
You've always been weird.
It says you.
Not just me, I'm telling you. I was talking to this one person the other day. You got brought up in the conversation. Like, hey, what's up? What's that weirdo been doing these days? Like, I don't know, man. Doing something weird.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just working. That weird thing, earning a paycheck.
Just doing the weird stuff, working. That's all.
No, definitely. I guess I don't know how anybody hasn't heard this. I saw it, didn't run across into it, but apparently, I don't know if it happened last night or this morning. There is a Windows update that like crashed like banks and like actual like airlines had to like delay and cancel flights because this Microsoft update just crashed a bunch of stuff. Essentially, the blue screen of death impacted millions of people today.
Is this
or like?
Are you being serious?
Like, yeah, this was reported this morning on the news. Like, it was all like there were like airlines like that like delayed and canceled flights because of this update. Oh,
jeez, I didn't hear about that.
No, it was all over the news this morning.
Well,
it was a software glitch from cybersecurity company CrowdStrike, which was pumping out updates through Windows and stuff like that, and it caused a lot of issues.
Imagine what is going to happen with AI running things.
We already know what's going to happen.
It's going to be this could be that on like a much larger scale.
Oh, it's just you watch Terminator. It's Skynet. That's what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, 100%. We already know.
Nothing complicated, but it's the whole like, oh, I can't use my card type thing. Where it's like, hey, if the internet goes down, or there's a glitch, like, oh, I can't withdraw my money from the bank or like an ATM or something. You're
gonna be one of those people. It's cash only. I don't have a bank account. Cash only. That's how my grandpa was.
You just hoard all your cash under your mattress. Don't trust the banks.
My dad doesn't use banks. He doesn't use banks. So he's somehow gotten away with it all of his life, but he doesn't trust banks.
I guess, here or there, if literally
I get it. I mean, like the central banking system has a problem. That's where cryptocurrency came from to try to fix that problem. But that's now a problem. So the problem is actually just money. That's the problem.
It's not my problem with crypto. First of all, I don't think it's stable as it stands right now. But I'm not a fan of the whole blockchain when it comes to you can see what I've spent my money on. Like you don't even know what I buy.
We already know you be on the hub all the time.
Hey.
He had no reply.
More the bay at that point. I'm not paying for crap like that.
Get out of here! Oh my god, the bay.
Why pay for what you can get for free?
The hub is free. What are you talking about?
I thought what you made it sound like.
Get out of here.
That's
So we got Mr. Coffee says it's a security service that Windows relies on. They sent out the wrong patch. What's worse
just crashed a bunch of stuff. Probably caused a lot of people, a lot of people, a few $1 million probably lost because of this.
Says what's worse is how to fix the issue is the IT person needs to physically delete folders in Windows safe mode. They can't remotely get into it. So that is, I'm not one of the guys that, like get scared about all this stuff because it's just, there's too much, but it is a little worrying. Like something like that could happen.
Yeah, somebody does it, but hey, at least I know. At least when it comes to me doing my actual job, it wasn't getting affected because when Windows like rolls out like new updates, we don't. Well, like on my phone, I have to wait until it's cleared to update it, or like when it comes to like our computers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like everybody else get the update like a month before we do because we have a whole separate like IT department that's got to go through and make sure it's not going to cause any problems before they'll actually roll out a separate update and stuff like that. So. Maybe that's one of those things. I don't know, you need maybe an easy way where, hey, if this update crashes, you should have an easy way to roll back to a prior update. I know it's, easier said than done. I'm far from an expert on cybersecurity stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an expert either, but that's pretty crazy. What else have we got? I did want to bring something up, so this is kind of off topic a little bit. But this week I was talking to someone, and we were talking about like physical media. He was bringing up about like the Walmart section where they've got like a little section of this vinyl now, but they don't even have any CDs. They don't even have CDs at all.
No, but you can find like 20, 30 different vinyls there.
Yeah, you can find all these vinyls there, but then there's like one little tiny spot for like anime, and then another one little tiny spot for movies now. Where it used to be like 2 aisles there for just the movies and stuff.
It's like half an aisle for movies, if that, and it's not even the full.
Oh, it's not even half an aisle. Yeah, no, it's literally for us. It's a section. It's one, what they would call. It's like one of the pieces. I don't know how to explain it. Like there's two put together.
You don't go to Walmart for that. Essentially,
you don't go anywhere. Best Buy doesn't sell anymore. You don't go anywhere. No.
I don't even go to. Why go to Best Buy?
Amazon is literally the place for people to buy physical.
Well, that's because as far as like physical media, you can't go to these stores. Stop selling it. You have to go to like online retailers. So like that's the only reason I would go to Best Buy, not even for their games, but for like multimedia, like some of the computer stuff and like movies and stuff like that. And that's pretty much not exactly. You go to a Best Buy for washer, dryer, and a television. That's like all they sell anymore. Like why bother going there?
The reason this conversation happened was I've talked about this before, but I used to go on Thursdays. That was the new movie release day. So on Thursdays, almost every single week there was a new movie I was buying. It was the same way that I'm in the video games now, and I still like movies like that, but I was getting new releases and stuff. I would go there Thursday morning, would be there at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning when I woke up, go pick up the new release. And it was like a sort of routine thing that I did, and it was the same with games. So on game release day, I would go there first thing in the morning, go do that. And then now there's stuff like this. If somebody, my pre-order got canceled from Best Buy for the Nintendo World Championship game, and like, talk about being crushed, because this was like a really cool special edition box. It was something I was very interested in and had a dedicated video I wanted to make for this. And it was something I really wanted. And it just got canceled. So I go to Walmart. Walmart didn't even get it. Go to GameStop. They didn't get it. They said, oh, we don't get anything like that in unless somebody is pre-orders it. We don't get that stuff because it doesn't sell. So like these places don't even get some of this stuff anymore. The Luigi's Mansion, Walmart doesn't even have it. My Walmart doesn't even have the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Such a waste.
It's just crazy. Like, how like these things are just completely freaking disappearing, man. Like, and I like the routine of going early to go get my thing and being excited about it. I might not be able to play it until the end of the day, but I know I got it and I'm excited. You know what I mean? It's just like, when as an adult, you have to find something that keeps you going and that makes you excited. That you get excited about, and like stuff like that. I get excited about. A lot of people do. So like, it just kind of sucks that you can't do that anymore. I lost my pre-order for that, and now I can't get it. I can't find it. So
just like, oh well,
and
we don't
Best
care.
Buy won't give me a reason why. Called customer service. There's no reason why I cancel my pre-order. Pre-ordered it right away.
What happened was they allowed too many people to pre-order it because they don't care, and then they just we're just gonna cut X amount of people in whatever way, and you're just not gonna get it.
It's so frustrating, man. It's so
who got it? Scalpers got theirs that they ordered probably 20 copies of.
And then I don't know what's going on. I went on there and checked, and it didn't even show that it's like gone through to pay yet. So I might not even get it. And it's the first time I've ever tried to do it. But the Japanese version comes with the Famicom controllers, the Famicom Joy-Cons. It's a different box set. So I really wanted it for that. I was like, I love the Famicom controllers. I think they look awesome. I don't like that they're wired to the system, but I love the way that they look. So I thought that was really cool, but there's no movement on it, and the game's already out. So I don't know. It's a little frustrating because everything is going digital. You just talked about the bank stuff, like things like that can happen. It's like, my God, what's gonna happen, man? Where are we heading?
Yeah, it's really frustrating, but that's just companies just not caring at the end of the day.
I guess we should all just play Monopoly Go and call it a day.
Yeah, just be done with it. And I know you said that, and I think I just because you were talking about that specifically, it reminded me of something I did see. So on Twitter or X, or I don't know, Elon Musk was like, "Hey, should we just rebrand it to Twitter X?" At this point, it'd be a decent
said
rebrand.
That?
Yeah, I think he saw something about like rebranding, either going back to Twitter or just going like Twitter X or something like that.
I say just keep it X at this point. Like, I'm finally adjusting where I still say Twitter sometimes, but
I like the name Twitter X. You can have it. You have the best of both worlds. You have Twitter that everyone knows, and then just X because it's
make it
cool.
One
it's
or
like
the other.
Going back. It's like going back to like the late '90s, early 2000s. It's extreme. Well, we're making a new.
No, that's XXX.
It's not even the same.
That was. Don't you remember the XXX movies?
That was Triple X.
Yeah.
The Vin Diesel movies.
Yeah.
They made 2 and only 1 was actually good.
Yeah, one saw in theaters.
Yeah, but no, it was posted on the at Nintendo, the Japanese Nintendo on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. They're doing a collab with.
Look, that makes me so angry. Brian Altano from IGN got his, but I didn't get mine.
That's IGN. They get special treatment.
So
but apparently Nintendo's doing a collab with or a quasi collab with Hololive. It's a VTuber group. They're Japanese, where they're doing, some of their members are competing in a Famicom tournament, the Nintendo World Championships Hololive Famicom Tournament is what they call it. It'll be broadcast live 8 p.m. on July 29th. And I think that's 8 p.m. Japanese time. So if you want to watch some cute Japanese VTuber girls or anime girls play this game in a little tournament, however they're going to do it, that's definitely a thing. And I think it's a small thing. Probably most people aren't going to care, but it's the weird thing. Like, oh, Nintendo's collabing with they're getting into the whole VTuber thing, which has definitely been blowing up since like 2017 is when it kind of started, but around 2020, around COVID is when it really started blowing up and stuff like that. So, at least getting really popular.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting. None of you. I know Brandon doesn't care.
Nah, I don't give a crap about VTubers. I don't even know what you're talking about. I just go along with it.
Trying to open you to the world, but he's not receptive.
You sent nothing to me that is appealing. The things I've seen are like almost terrifying to me. Oh man,
I see. He's a lost cause. What more do you want me to say? But speaking of like another Nintendo IP, apparently there was a data miner by the X user or Twitter user at KMIE_821. Don't know how you would even say that. They were going through the Ruby and Silver source code essentially, and they found
Ruby
2 different
and Sapphire.
words. Ruby and Sapphire. Sorry. I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what it says, but they're like translated as Indigo version and Crimson version essentially. So
I remember
before we got Sapphire and Ruby, apparently in the actual code was planned to be Indigo and Crimson.
That's what they were being called. everybody online was calling it that. It was even in Nintendo Power before it actually got announced. So
I don't know if it
you
had
kind of
been
knew
so
that.
long, but went into the game code, and it's like, oh, this is verification. Like this is what they kind of planned on doing before they officially went out and changed the name and stuff like that.
And then I will tell you, there are fan-made games for Indigo and Crimson out too. And I actually might even pull the one up while I'm sitting here. But yeah, they actually made fan games for those based on what the little information that we had on it.
I mean, yeah, I guess they did because Indigo is blue, Crimson's red, Sapphire, Ruby. It kind of the color schemes are kind of similar. They just went more with a jewel colored name than the actual just straight color itself.
Yeah, basically.
Wasn't the original Final Four called the Indigo League? Am I misremembering that?
The Elite Four?
Yeah, the Elite Four. Sorry, was it the Indigo Plateau or something like
Indigo
that?
Indigo Plateau. Yeah.
I heard that. I was like, I felt like that name was already in a game.
I was trying
not as the name of a game, but it was used somewhere else. But
I thought I had this on here with those, but I might not. It might be on the actual cart. But yeah, there's actually a lot, and I actually started playing one. I actually played something. I maybe 20 minutes, but I did play Pokemon. It's just called Pokemon Dark version. I started playing that. There's a bunch of Pokemon fan games that are really cool. That I've gone down this rabbit hole of YouTubers that are playing all these Pokemon games. They're all classic, but fan games, if you will. And was kind of looking through some of them. There's a lot, man. People have made a lot of these fan games. There's this one where characters get chopped up and crazy stuff happens and they're cussing and it's just not Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm trying to see if I can pull this up here. There's so many daggone games on here. It's 50 different NBA jams. Oh, I forgot. I never added past the P. I got Bomberman Quest, the European, Japanese, and USA version.
Definitely.
Bomberman Selection.
Yeah. There's a lot of Bomberman games out there.
I gotta put those on here. I can't believe it. I don't have the other Pokemon games on here. This one. Have you ever played this one? Bomberman?
No, I haven't.
I love the stylized version of Bomberman with that.
More pixelated pixel art, version of it. Those
Bomber Boy. I love it.
He's not man. He's just a boy.
Just a boy.
What have you done to my boy?
Oh, speaking of which, let's talk about this real quick. We need to talk about it. Did you see the analog pockets that got announced, went up, and sold out, and how much they were?
No, I saw them, but I don't remember what the price tag was on them.
Oh my god, they made I think there's 3 collars. They were aluminum. They made them out of aluminum. The normal ones are plastic. These are plastic like a game.
You want something that's not going to break on you?
Oh, these aren't going to break. These are heavy. I mean, these feel better than any Game Boy.
Oh no, I just pulled it up. $500.
$500. But these are normally just $250. So you're paying another what, $250 for the aluminum shell, and they sold out. Go look at eBay.
But it's got a USB-C copy. No, to be fair, on their website, on the store.analog.co website, only the indigo, black, and white are sold out. You can still buy the black, the natural, and the noir.
Those are still up? Really?
Yeah, it says add to cart. The other ones say sold out.
I wonder if people cancel. I knew that the blue one, the indigo, sold out immediately, absolutely right away. I wonder if some people cancel their pre-orders or whatever, and a couple more went back up.
Yeah, but Brandon, it's got USB-C. Can you really be mad at it for that $500 price tag?
What do you mean? This has USB-C too. I don't get it. There's nothing different about it other than the
this
aluminum
is more
shell.
Expensive than a Nintendo Switch.
I know, that's the problem. This
with
is crazy.
A fraction of the amount
of
power.
Now, $250 for this is completely worth it. That is worth it, in my opinion. 100% worth it. The capabilities of this with the FPGA built in, you don't even have to ever have a cart. I can never put a cart in here and I can still play all these 70 different game systems. But another $250 just for an aluminum shell. Like that is the
I guess it's not bad. If you think of like
oh my God, not bad.
the Game Boy Color, because I was pulling that up, it sold like what $80 when it came out. So if you in '99, and this one website inflated it, adjusted for inflation for 2023, it'd be about $150. So an extra $100 for something that's not, you're paying the extra $100 from what it would have gone at launch for. Essentially because this is kind of like a more niche market, so they're not making as many copies of it and stuff like that.
So, and sorry to confuse the audio listeners, but you have Twitch over there. You have it set up where you can pull something up to show the audience, right?
Yeah, I thought I sent it to you within our little
Oh, I don't have
thing,
it. I would love to have that on here so I could do that, but I just wanted to see if you could pull up and show the past couple updates on the Unlock Switch stuff on X, because they're shipping them out now. Like, so I should be expecting it. They messaged me asking for my info yesterday.
Oh, don't do that. It's on X, you said?
Yeah, just unlock Switch. I just wanted to read out. I told them that I was going to be talking about it. We talked about it basically in every episode, and
trying to see if I can pull up the right thing. So I don't even know where I'm trying to find the right thing at. To be fair, I know what I'm looking
type in unlock Switch.
It didn't even give me what I was.
Sorry to our audio listeners.
No, you're fine.
Figuring this out here.
So add unlock Switch.
Yeah, just,
what am I looking for on here?
Just their past couple updates, not the pinned one. We already know about that, but just kind of what they were saying there. So,
okay.
Some of the stuff that they've said on there. I don't know where you're at showing it, but they put out an update that's yesterday. Actually, I'm surprised they haven't put one out yet. They normally tweet out every single day, but they said we've accepted all feedback, positive and negative, since day one. We've had to block competitor spy accounts and their daily childish attacks. At first, it was easy to manage and respond to, but now we don't have the time. We're in the final stretch and need to stay focused.
Don't want that.
From now on, all trolls will be ignored and blocked without a response. We understand your motivation, but unfortunately for you, we're launching soon. We won't let you distract us anymore. It was amusing at first, but serious matters are approaching quickly. That was their last update yesterday, but they put out. I wanted you to show what the
I was able to pull it up.
What the packaging and everything looks like, and what you'll get when they ship it.
Yeah. So I have it pulled up over on. Yeah, I got it pulled up.
Yeah. So they've got the extractor there, which is the piece that I didn't get for my MIG switch. I'm still angry about. So that thing's just sitting in the box. It's like $70 spent.
It's essentially the piece that's got like the two pieces of plastic and the cable.
Yeah. So
sorry, because I got.
Yeah, their extractor. So their extractor is basically you just put the game in there and you're ripping the game to your PC. And then like from there you can pull all those games from your PC and put them on the cart and play them all from one cart on your Switch. So that's like the whole deal with it. But also like there's people that's just going to want to back up their 400 hours that they put in Tears of the Kingdom to always have their save, and Pokemon is going to be a big thing, obviously. So even just the backing up part, because I will back up every single one of my games. I always do. For every game that I have an extractor for, I've backed up every single one of them. Always. I just always do. That way I have a ROM that I know is good, and it's mine. It came from my cart. I'm not pulling it from the internet. But yeah, I mean, so you get it in this little kit, and they show off the kind of kit that they'll send out to you. So it looks pretty good, and I like the clear case. The one that they're sending out to us is actually a prototype, and it's purple. It's purple see-through. One that we'll be getting all the beta testers. But the one they are selling is like a clear see-through one. So they did I think they shipped mine out yesterday because they asked for my info yesterday. So that should be coming in soon. So I'll be doing a full video on that. But they've showed updates where they've got a bunch of them packed up, ready to ship out to all the beta testers, which is shared on the 17th. So that was 2 days ago from this live. And then so they're just showing. And if you scroll down to the July 15th tweet, there's the one that I'll be getting. What is it?
Yeah. I just closed it out. Sorry, I was already scrolling through some of that stuff, so it probably popped up. But
yeah, so I just wanted to share that. So
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
No, it definitely is. I had a minor issue because I full screened it on my second screen and it grayed out you and me because Discord's weird sometimes. So I was fussing with that a little bit, but
Yeah, I still haven't finished getting this shared out actually, but yeah. So, what do we got next? I'm gonna get this shared out on
something
So-
small, but there was a dev that came out on Metroid Prime 4. It was talking about the this is what John Wofford at Grumblechuck on X said. Metroid Prime 4 has been a dream project, and my favorite part has been designing, crafting, and animating Samus's HUD. I learned a lot during the Metroid Prime Remastered, and I hope it shows. Check out my ArtStation for a deeper dive. Obviously, he's got a Buffy link on his actual tweet and stuff like that. Just going into depth of the actual HUD, which obviously you saw a little bit when they did the trailer for Metroid Prime 4. But it's the same. Essentially, it's very similar to the setup they had in Prime Remastered, of essentially keeping the HUD the same, but essentially reimagining it because it doesn't. It's very obviously not the same HUD on the GameCube version. It's been significantly. I would say significant. It's been reworked to where it's the same, but it feels a lot better, essentially, especially on modern hardware and stuff like that.
So, are you talking about remaster?
Remaster and 4.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
just- no,
realistically, you
essentially
can get
one of
all the
the-
information out there from our video. If you guys go watch the video
Yeah,
after this podcast.
This was just he'd put this out like a few days ago, specifically about him working on the actual Samus's HUD and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And instead goes into I think he goes into a little detail on his buff link. I can pull it up real quick, just double check. But just like, hey, I work on this HUD specifically, and I think the HUD, you go back and watch stills or actually watch the trailer, like the HUD looks amazing, considering it's a nice upscale from what we used to have, but it still feels the same. Because if you've ever actually played a Prime game, the HUD is very it matters to the experience and stuff like that.
Oh, it does for sure.
Especially reimagining, because it's got parts. It's not a perfect rectangle like kind of what you're seeing on our screens. Part of the bottom, you can see where it kind of cuts off. Obviously, if you look up, down, you can see the outer edge and stuff like that in the delay. Because it's essentially recreating that first-person feel, like if you were actually Samus using the actual visor and everything else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like I like the sort of reflection that you get too. Like it just makes it look.
Oh yeah,
more
with like
realistic.
a bright light and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You had that all the way back on the GameCube, which was
They did, which is crazy.
at that
it
time
looked,
was pretty
it looked
amazing.
awesome. Yeah, look, it still holds up. Like it still looks
it does.
really good. So.
No, I mean nothing big. It's just coming out and being like, hey, this is we're proud that we've I'm proud that I worked on this and stuff like that. And I think it looks really good, even from what we've seen.
Yeah, that's great.
I did bring this up to Brandon. I know he doesn't care. Actually, kind of rolled his eyes at me and called me stupid. But if you really want to, apparently coming soon from a Soul Retriever, you can get your high class Pokemon Crocs.
Oh, God.
That's all I'm saying. They've pretty much got 4 different style of Crocs. So you got the Jigglypuff, Charizard, I think it's the
I would
Mega
wear the
Gengar. The Mega Gengar from the Mega Evolution from, I believe it's Sword and Shield, and then Snorlax are like the 4 designs they have.
I would I'd rock them, but I'm not like a Crocs guy. I've never owned a pair, so.
If you want to be that guy or girl at your next prom, get yourself a Pokemon Croc. It's right there.
Let me give you a little story time here. So this would have been we were going into middle school, so we would have been going into 7th grade. And you were never like super into Bleach like I was, but like during that Shonen Jump era with all of those guys, One Piece, Naruto, and stuff like that, I really liked Bleach. So Vans put out a limited edition pair of Bleach shoes, and I got those. And like I always got like a back to school pair of shoes, like new shoes for school.
It's my back to school outfit.
That's what I got for middle school. I remember immediately somebody made fun of me. that day, and like that was like during the time where I like kind of got out of all that too eventually at that point. But like that I started 7th grade at Bleach shoes. So, and I actually just found one of my Bleach movies. I took a picture earlier because I'm gonna share it, but I haven't even opened it up. I just found this yesterday. I found a couple of my anime DVDs and Blu-rays, but I never even opened that one. So, but yeah, we don't like anime around here anyway. So
No, just 'cause you said it, I haven't even opened it. I haven't even watched it, but I saw it at Walmart. The Blu-ray version of it, the first volume of Bleach.
oh,
I bought
nice.
it. It's
Yeah, I've seen
still
it there,
in
too.
its actual plastic. God knows when I'm ever actually gonna open up and watch it. But
You should. I love
one of the few
Bleach.
times I saw like an anime at Walmart, I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah, I love Bleach. You should. I think you would get into it. I just think you just never spent the time to get into it. And it was the lesser of those because during that time
the big
there's
three.
yeah, the big three, but then there was also like obviously this is not part of like the shonen anime, but Death Note was also like the big one during that time. So like it kind of reigned over all of those for those 2 seasons at least.
Yeah, I didn't like Death Note.
I know that you don't.
Trash show.
What you said about Bleach, and I mean, I think you're not giving it a chance, but that's just.
I never actually I just never watched Bleach.
I love. I think Bleach is the best of.
I got
of
9
those.
episodes into Death Note, and I absolutely hated it. I hated the main character. I was like, I'm not watching this.
Well,
anymore.
did you see that there's a new Bleach movie coming out?
I did because they came back to finally finish. You know, it stopped and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't remember what the issue was, but I know they came back.
That comes out soon, so like maybe we could cover that because I would definitely go watch that. It comes out real soon. This is the what's that called? 1,000-Year Blood War, I think.
Yeah,
so
that's
like part
the arc
3.
they're on.
Yeah,
it's like the final arc. They never actually animated, or there was some. I know Bleach had a big problem with filler. But I know before we got too far away, I just want to say
it wasn't as bad
Crocs,
as Naruto or anything. Holy crap!
The whole 2 years, I think it was a better decision than just to get too deep. But those Pokemon Crocs, if you really want them, $70. So it's the price of a brand new video game, or 3. Who knows? 3 old games.
Yeah, but they are Pokemon Crocs, so.
Pretty cool. So what? It's
I would rock them, but I'm not buying them. But I would wear them. I would definitely wear them.
I'm really bad at math, but 70 times 4.
The math doesn't.
$280 plus tax, so it's like $310 probably if you wanted to get all of them and be that guy.
You should get all of them and do a video review.
The Crocs.
Yeah, that's why you should do it.
I can't. I could probably justify buying a single pair, but not all 4 of them.
Oh come on.
$300 is something I'm gonna wear
it
once.
Ain't that. Oh come on.
I don't even have sandals.
You can put them up on the shelf. I don't have sandals either.
I'm not putting Crocs on a shelf.
But you can display them.
What in the Florida man are you talking about?
I just want to say hey to Jay and Matt Long that popped into the chat there on YouTube. Mr. Coffee said 1,000-Year War is pretty damn good. They have done a good job adding more context to the battle. I agree. I think it's great. I love Bleach. It was one of those ones where even the filler, which to me, I don't think there was a lot of filler. At least I don't remember there being a ton of filler. But the filler
Bleach?
I do remember wasn't bad. It was good. Like you could have thought it was part of the canon. Like the filler wasn't bad. What is it?
I said, but it's not. It's not canon.
Okay, well, I mean, neither is like half of One Piece or half of Naruto.
Of all the with 366 episodes of Bleach, from I think the 2004 to the 2012 run, 45% of it was filler. Nearly half of those 366 episodes was just filler. Didn't add any of the overall story.
I think you're making stuff up.
There's the animefillerlist.com. Breaks it down if you want to skip filler.
Now that's
or
nerdy if you're going on and looking up.
It's not nerdy.
That is.
You just Google Bleach filler. It's like the first website that comes
up. Let's avoid anime on this podcast for the rest of eternity.
I didn't bring it up. You did. I'm just kind of proving. No, but I know we're probably gonna get into it a little bit later with one of the bigger topics. But apparently, Saudi Arabia is going to be holding the first ever Olympic esports.
I believe it. They've got throwaway money like like no tomorrow. They're bringing back. Did you see that they're doing the? They're essentially buying out like all the boxing leagues to make one big league like MMA.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they're trying because boxing is like dead right now. It's like dead in the water. Showtime and stuff, all that.
Yeah.
It's dead in the water.
It's pretty much it's UFC is really what you want to see if you're going.
So they're trying to get all the people from all the organizations and put them together and build a boxing like the UFC, which I think is a good idea. But yeah, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So they got some esports going on. Man, I'll compete.
Yeah, but they pretty much said the Saudi Arabia is going to hold their inaugural Olympic esports games. It's the first time it's not just esports doing its own thing. It's the Olympic sponsored. Will be coming. They say sometime in 2025. I don't think we actually have a hard date, but this will be next year. You get out there, root for your country, and I don't even know if we have a proper list of what games they're going to actually do. I was trying to find it real quick. Okay, so they're notably going to be featuring, of course, the first thing they say is Fortnite. But some of the other games are supposed to be League of Legends, Street Fighter, and Rocket League were among those rumored to be there. Some of the bigger games that just make sense that are already kind of big esports games to begin with. And just kind of go note, before the esports series that came out in 2023, this is the esports was first, I believe, I don't know if this was the first, but one of the first big ones was the 2007 Asian Indoor Games. It was like really the first time you really saw esports kind of hit the international scene. But I remember way back in the day, I thought esports was really big in South Korea, like when we were like really young and stuff like that back in the day. That's going.
Yeah,
way back.
it was. Yeah, you're right. I remember. But the Japanese competitors, it was South Korea and Japan as far as the competitive esports stuff. China had a really great team too with like League and what was the other? I'm trying to think.
I'd say Dota too.
Dota. Like games I don't play, but I remember.
Yeah, like the MOBAs and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not into that stuff. But even with the fighters, which we're going to be talking about Evo here in a bit, like a lot of it is Asian players that kind of dominate. So it's interesting.
Isn't that the meme? Like you're in a competitive game and you just see like what's it like South Korean, Japanese, or Korean characters, and you're like, ugh. Either they're trash or we're about to just lose. We're about to just, get a 1v10.
Yeah.
But like that's the meme. You're like, oh no, we're about to lose.
We're about to lose.
I have a job to play. This dude just like all he does, he's like a hikikomori or something like that, and just plays video games all day.
Hikikomori. Yeah.
Man.
So hey, let me ask you.
Talk about a life.
Let me ask you something. So we've still got a few first party releases coming out this year for the Switch. We obviously got Emio, the Famicom Detective Club, that's coming out next, actually. Then we got Zelda, which comes out in 69 days. After that, we got Super Mario Party Jamboree, and then Mario and Luigi Brothership. Are you picking up any of those? Those are the last big titles. And obviously Donkey Kong is coming out too, but yeah.
It's technically next year. I'll probably pick up the Zelda game. The other two, probably not, if I'm just being honest. I'm still tossing up whether I even want to try to get the Zelda, which is the Switch Lite, essentially. I've been tossing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I want to do it too. I feel like I need to, because look at what happened with the 3DS ones and the DS ones and the prices.
Buy it, don't open it, wait for the secondhand market to go through the roof.
Coolest, probably the coolest special edition anything video game is that Hyrule Shield 2DS XL. That's like
Zelda stuff is always going to sell well.
Have you seen it though? What it looks like? Oh my god, it is
beautiful. I remember it looked dope.
Beautiful. And I remember that going up for sale. Could have got it. And I'm like, what? It came out when the Switch was out. So like there was no reason for me to get it at the time, but yeah, I mean that end of life stuff, it's always the end of life stuff for a console that ends up being worth money later. People don't care anymore because the next console's out or it's about to come out. But yeah, I knew you would be picking up Zelda, but I feel like you maybe look into the series a little bit, but the Mario and Luigi series is really fun. They're really fun RPGs with like legitimate stories. Probably the most story-heavy Mario games. Period. Um, Other than Super Mario RPG, which is it's kind of like a continuation of that. But yeah, to me, those are all pretty good. I'm debating on the Emio on whether I'll get that like when it comes out or I'll wait until later. But I think I will
Not a
get it.
visual, just not a visual novel type fan. Nor am I really a horror fan.
Yeah, I'm
but
not.
I'll tell you what I am going to be buying in 6 days,
Your
12
mom.
hours, 41 minutes, and 35 seconds. I can officially pre-order Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I actually, to make sure I didn't forget to pre-order it, I have it like on my favorites up on my bar at the top of my screen.
Oh, you're
so I
getting
can,
it
like,
digitally?
No, I have it favorited on my browser so I can remember to actually pre-order it when it comes out.
What?
But no, I'm getting it physical.
Let me ask you a question. Why are you so excited about this game? Because did you even play
I never
the
got a chance
original?
to play it on the 360. No, I didn't.
It's because of what she looks like, isn't it? Be honest with me.
I mean, that helps.
Oh my god, I knew it.
I mean, that's half the reason why
I
bought,
play that and
Stellar
don't even
Blade.
think anything of it when I play games like that because it's a video game. But that's just me. It's a very good game though. I still have it. I have it loose though. It doesn't have a case, and I often forget I even own it.
I'm a simple man. I see tits, I say yes.
All right.
Neuron and the monkey meme with neuron activates type thing.
Did you see the first guy? Because he went on Joe Rogan that got the what's the implant called? The
Neuralink?
Neuralink. Yeah, he got the Neuralink. Did you happen to see that podcast?
I mean, I heard about it. I didn't see the podcast.
Oh, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. Yeah, because so he has no function of his arms and legs, and he can full on play video games. And he said, so like, you know how I forget what the term is because I don't play like competitive games really, but like there's something where like people that play on console with controllers, they say that it has like, is it aim assist? Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Okay, so he said that basically it works so fast that before what he's actually thinking, just based on like everything, your body movements, what's going on, it will do before what he thinks. It'll do that. It'll start doing something before he even thinks. So he's like, I don't know how people that have Neuralink are going to be able to competitively play games because they're going to have a way bigger edge. He said that like before he can even think about what to do, it already starts to do it. So he's like perfect already playing first person shooters. And he said the first night that he got it, he stayed up for 9 hours playing video games. And
That's crazy.
it was just like playing normally. So it's like, it's crazy stuff, man. Like, it's tech related, and it's only going to get better and more improved.
I think it's good technology. I just don't think, as of right now, it'll probably be initially marketed towards disabilities and stuff like that. The problem, I think, because I can't remember where I heard it from, the person, but I think I agreed with them, is saying, as it stands right now, I think Neuralink's really going to take over because it's actually like physically has to be. Was it like it's like physically attached to your brain or something like that?
It's implanted. Like you have to have
Yeah,
surgery.
it's like an implant, which is gonna keep a lot of people. Like if you could have something that's more not as invasive with Neuralink, something that's more like you could just like wear like a hat on the head.
Yeah,
that would take off a lot more. I don't know how that works.
I think that
but
people would be lined up for that. Just normal people would be lined up to have that done. And
I don't know.
the procedure, they told him that it could take 4 hours, and they were done in like an hour and a half. And it was actually pretty simple what they're doing. But I think people would be lined up, whether you have any problems or not. I think people would line up for that, and for somebody on the street that would like to get one, you're probably going to be waiting years because there's going to be a wait list. That's what I think. I think people.
I guess we'll wait and see because I don't know who's going to be like. It depends on where the technology and if it actually were to have mass like user implications and stuff like that. I don't think access to the actual technology would be your problem. It'd be the actual surgery, the cost of the surgery would be where you're going to get funneled in and stuff like that. Which is where I think if you could make it more of something that's less invasive, that you could more essentially wear like a hat, would simplify it, or make it more accessible. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the next decade or two, like assuming this works the way you think it does, it doesn't take off, and then in 50 years, it'd be amazed to see somebody that doesn't have it. Like it's just something that happens like at birth, essentially.
Yeah, I think it's gonna absolutely take off, and I think there's gonna be so he was like debating on whether he wanted to be the first person because he knew right away that he's going to have the worst version of the technology because already by the time the second person got it, there was already a revision to it. So like they're going to
But that's
constantly be revised and getting better. So
yeah.
like you might have an old version. It's going to be like upgrading your phone type of deal.
Yeah, which is, I guess, the other issue of it, if you're dealing with something like that, when it becomes invasive like that, how do you, not run into that problem? But I think, the first few years of this and the first people to immediately get it, it's going to be aimed towards more people with disabilities and stuff like that, as a, I don't want to say proof of concept, but the proof of concept to essentially help people with disabilities to live a more
100%. They're going to
a more
focus on
normal
that.
life compared to everybody else. And then, once it works, you've worked out the kinks. Now you start, the technology just becomes cheaper. You can start moving your pitch sale to a more general audience type thing. Obviously, those that have the money are going to get it first, and then it'll slowly start to trickle down to everybody else.
Yeah,
But I mean, who knows? Maybe by the time it becomes popular for everybody, you just put your brain in a metallic body, and it's a moot point at that point.
I legitimately think people are going to be more receptive and excited about these things than probably me and you think. Because for me, obviously, that's going to be one of those things where I'm very hesitant. I would be waiting a long time. I need to see actual results and what's happening, how people are functioning. So years of research and just seeing it happen. But I don't think people are all like that anymore. They're not. I mean, we know that. So I think people will line up for that. People will fall in line. We're long gone are the days where people were punk rock and go against the system. Now they line up for the system and they want to do everything that the system says to do.
Well, it's the idea of if it makes your life easier, but then there's a negative aspect. I know I saw Mr. Coffee saying to get the blue screen of death through your Neuralink, but I mean, obviously there's a security issue, and it's like, in theory, could you be like manipulated without even knowing it through a Neuralink? Like, oh, we're just gonna send an update, and you're gonna think the way we want you to think. Like, there are some
that can 100% happen.
Negative things that people are gonna talk about and think about that you're gonna have to like. Those are big hurdles you're gonna have to get over before it's like generally accepted that hey, this is what everybody's doing, or it's something that's just generally less invasive. It's not permanent, essentially.
It's like, how much trust do you have in Elon Musk? What happens when he dies with all this technology?
He's not going to die. He's going to live forever. He's going to be the actual
He's building
version
these
of
tunnels underground and
putting Walt Disney, like preserving his brain. He's just going to like, I've made this robot. I'm going to move my consciousness over, and he's just going to live forever. I'm going to call it now.
He's definitely going to try to do something. There's no doubt about that.
God Emperor Musk. That's what you're going to be calling in 20 years. He's going to lead the Skynet revolution. That's what I'm calling it right now.
You're calling Skynet a revolution? Is that what you want to happen?
No, but I probably what I want to happen is not going to happen. So,
what do you want to happen, Mark?
I want to live forever with my own personal harem. Like, what does any other man want? What's it?
Boy.
Drug, sex, rock and roll. Live forever?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you. You're something else. You're a bit hard to handle these days.
That's what you have me on me. That's what you like me for. So
that's true.
I made the joke like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be the next Genghis Khan. Like, at least 30% of the world's population in the future is gonna be related to me."
Do you know that he actually? I think the number that he took out was like 10% of the world's population that he took out
at the time. Yeah, it was insane.
Like everybody, I forget how many people.
He like slept with like as many women as he could.
Yeah, it's crazy, insane. I can't even imagine that one. What a time, man. Did you see the name of his kid? That is some next level math equation, Mr. Coffee said. Oh yeah, Elon Musk's kid. Yeah, I
I don't
never
remember
got
what
the celebrity naming their kids weird stuff like that, but
I think it's just a Musk thing, really.
yeah,
Oh,
but then
the
there's like the
XAEAXII or whatever it is. I don't even know how you would, say that, how you say it.
I don't know. Do you remember when people got mad that he smoked weed on Joe Rogan? Like people were outraged.
You're like 20 years too late to that.
Like, why are you guys outraged? They're legalizing this, and he was
I'm
getting like
outraged. I'm like-
calls or something. Like he said that during that he was actually like getting calls as agents and stuff were calling him.
Yeah, like what is this, like 1986? Like what's
What?
going on?
Reefer madness. Oh my god.
Even people that are against it wouldn't even really care. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he's an adult. He's got handlers that are telling him what to do. It's crazy.
All I could have thought it was like bad PR when he doesn't
well,
care.
that's exactly what it was. But like, why would you care? You're like 40 years old. I don't know. Weird.
He's 53 years old.
Is he really?
He doesn't look like he's 53.
No, I would have said early 40s. I thought he was like
born
41,
in
42.
He's born in 71.
Well, he's putting cream on his face every night, and because he's got one of those.
I
Like,
don't even think
butter
he's
faces.
human right now. I think he's already done it. He's already put his brain into a machine. Or it's not lizard people. It's just he's a robot now. He's a cyborg.
Interesting.
That's why he's pushing AI and Neuralink so bad.
Well,
We're going
did
down
you
Conspiracy alley.
Did you know that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that I have right here, it reached a milestone? Did you know about this?
I know you're a liar.
Okay. Well, it sold over 61.97 million units. It is now the
That's crazy.
top-selling Switch game, surpassing other popular titles. And it's the number one selling Mario Kart game of all time.
Yeah, because I think the next best-selling Switch game is Animal Crossing at like 45.
That is
million
only
units.
because of 2020 that sold the way that it did. Because before that, it was a niche series. But now there's like those cozy gamers that like games like that. So now it is a much bigger series. But that game would not have had the impact had that not happened during
the last game was on the DS as well. And
No,
it just
3DS,
wasn't this big platform. The 3DS,
and
same
Wii,
thing, but
and Wii U. Yeah, I play them all. I love the series, but every single one of them I like play, a certain amount of hours, and then I just stop. Like I do it to every single one of them. But one of the games I am looking for right now actively is Animal Crossing Wild World for the DS, because that was one of them I played a ton back in the. It's a lot of DS games I'm looking for. I just found out I don't have Mario Kart. I thought I had Mario Kart, so that's one of them. I'm just trying to get those ones that I have big attachments to, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at basically with any of the physical retro stuff at this point.
I mean, obviously, speaking of retro, I think this made the thing because not only was it like the best Switch, but it also outsold the family computer / the Nintendo Entertainment System.
My Mario movie ticket is inside the Mario Kart case.
I long threw mine away. So you just mentioned Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 61.97 million copies.
Yeah.
Well, both the Famicom and the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original NES, combined sold 61.91 million units. So this outsold Nintendo's OG hardware.
Wow, that's insane. But that's those combined, though, right? That's both consoles combined.
I mean, obviously they sold like 500 million units of software, like actual games, on both of those. That's
nuts.
That's a fairly big milestone, at least for back then. But it's still insane that technically this one game has outsold the original hardware.
I mean, we look at the sales charts all the time on the podcast, and it's crazy how much it sells just week to week. Like it's insane. It's like you have a Switch and you still don't have Mario Kart. Are you buying like a fifth copy? Like what's going on here?
Yeah, because I think they also said on this Gamer article, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was said to be the 18th best-selling game back in January of that month. Obviously, it sells as far as it's like one of the top like 5 games every month in Japan alone. But
yeah,
back then in 2024, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is like arguably in like the top 20. or at least probably top 30 consistently every month of best-selling games
Oh yeah.
across every platform, which is insane.
It looks like after Animal Crossing, it's Smash Brothers that sold 34 million units, Breath of the Wild 31 million units, and Super Mario Odyssey 27 million units. So, yeah, I
think
mean
Tears
that's
of
to
the
be
Kingdom
expected.
can
All
out-
first-party stuff, it's always going to be
Yeah.
like that for Nintendo consoles.
You think Tears of the Kingdom will outsell Breath of the Wild?
No, I don't think it will. Because Breath of the Wild was just like a brand new type of thing that was completely different at the time that people were super excited for. It was on 2 consoles. I don't think it will. I think it's a better
Yeah.
game. I love both of them. I think to me they're both 10 out of 10 games. Breath of the Wild was my favorite until Tears of the Kingdom came out. But I don't think it'll ever outsell Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
That
So
game
as
just had
of-
too big of an impact.
Yeah. As of March this past year, Tears of the Kingdom had sold 20.61 million copies, so it definitely has like another 11 million copies it would need to go to outsell Breath of the Wild, so it's probably not going to happen at this point.
No, I don't think it will. I was actually shocked at how low the numbers were for that game. Just comparatively.
It's seen as a sequel, and sequels usually don't sell as much as
They
the
don't.
original
I mean,
game.
you look at like Majora's Mask that took the same template of Ocarina of Time and it didn't sell the same at all. It's not even revered the same. A lot of people don't even, never played that played Ocarina of Time. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Mario Kart is cool. I haven't played it in a long time. I have not put that in forever. I haven't played any of the new tracks at all. Have you?
I played some of them, but I haven't played the game in a few months. So
We should
probably the
do
most
that
recent
for one of our
ones.
community streaming nights. We should play some Mario Kart. Try out the new tracks.
Shouldn't be the hardest.
If I can get you to do anything like that again. But no, we are going to do that. We do want to have some like community gaming nights. We've been talking about it for a while. So like in the next couple weeks, I think we're going to do the first one. So whatever games people are interested in, drop a comment, send a message. But I think Mario Kart would be a big one because a lot of people have that. What
Plus,
else?
you could probably have like a lot of people come in and race with you because you have like 12 people on a course or something like that.
You can have a lot of people. And then like what other games do you think if we picked like say 3 games that we're all going to play? What would be?
I don't have that many. I don't even own that many multiplayer.
It could be
games,
on other
so-
consoles. Obviously, it doesn't.
I'd have to go back and double check. To be fair, I don't even have an idea.
Kind of rude. You're a fake
I
Mario
understand.
fan wearing that shirt. You don't actually like.
I've had this shirt for like the better part of a decade.
This one's brand new. Actually, I didn't really show it off. I just took the tags off of it.
Yeah, it's definitely cracking. I'm so surprised this is still good. I mean, the amount of
You
time
know where
I've
I got?
watched it.
You know where I got this?
Walmart.
No, I got Dollar General,
Oh, it's even crazier.
and it actually like feels good. Like it feels like a good shirt.
It's like those GameStop ones where like this
No.
doesn't feel properly. It's not an actual
You could
shirt.
tell
It's-
like looking at it. Like the print is really good. It'll eventually crack, but
yeah.
it's nice. So
After
Yeah.
this wash, you just have to make sure if you don't want it to crack, you have to like fold it perfectly, put it in one of those little jersey things where it's just covered in glass. You hang on the wall.
now, I do gentle wash on all mine now. So like I put it on like a gentle because I got a lot of vintage shirts that I picked up. Like thrift
Yeah.
stores that I can't replace that. Like there's a couple of those shirts that are worth several $100s. It's ridiculous, but I got it at the thrift store.
Yeah, I wouldn't even wear those.
Well, I wouldn't have either, but there were 2 of them. Okay, so I get made fun of for this. I literally don't give a crap. I like whatever. But I'm a fan of Seether, right? And I went to go see them in 2012. They played at the Ohio State Fair. And then I got 2 shirts from that tour. Both of those shirts, which I've wore them on these podcast episodes, both of them before early on. And I didn't know at the time. I didn't know anything about vintage shirts or like that there was even a market for that. So I wore them all the time. And now they are like, super cracked, faded. One of them, the one that's worth more money, I guess it doesn't matter. People will still buy them, but it has a hole right here. It got a small little hole right here. I guess people will still buy them even though they're damaged. But I found out later, like somebody left a comment about the shirt. And I was like, I didn't know that. But like those were like things I actually got from going to the show, and I got a memory attached to that. But like if there were other ones I picked up and found, I found like a Black Label Society one that was going for like $60 or whatever. I didn't end up putting it up for sale. I just wore it. But like if I did find something several $100s again, I would probably throw it up. So I always look now because you never know, man. Like you find some pretty cool stuff. I've got a Halo 2 promotional shirt that I've had since Halo 2 came out. I've had that shirt forever. Um, and then I've wore it one time, I think, on the podcast. It's a GameStop Beatles Rock Band shirt. I've got a bunch of like old vintage game shirts. I don't wear them that often, so
Yeah.
so
I'm just that one dude that just washes everything together in one wash cycle. So
no, I do too, but I just put it all in a gentle wash.
fair enough.
All right, so let's get into this big stuff, Marky Mark.
What do we got going on?
Well, it looks like it's a Mortal Kombat game that came out 1 year ago. It's a mobile game. It's getting shut down. And it's funny, it's not pre-order, but like pre-installed this game and never played it when it came out. Like pre-installed it, but on their Twitter or X, they said, "We are sorry to inform you that Mortal Kombat Onslaught will close its operations in October. It has been an honor creating this game for our community with a K, and we appreciate the enthusiasm from our fans. In the coming weeks, we will share specific timing of the close of the game." So alongside, this is another Warner Brothers thing. Warner Brothers is absolute garbage, dumpster fire company, trash. Go watch my video that I did on them a couple months ago. Absolute garbage still. I think putting stuff out like that Gotham Knights and oh my god, the things they are doing is so stupid. But it says since the publication of this article from IGN, Warner Brothers has clarified that it will continue to support Mortal Kombat Mobile and Injustice 2 on mobile. But it does look like alongside this, people will be losing their jobs. It says they announced the plan to shut the game down, and they said in the statement sent to IGN, NetherRealm Studios would like to assure all players and fans of our ongoing commitment to Mortal Kombat Mobile and Injustice 2 Mobile. I didn't even know about those. Both games will continue to have full support. There's a new patch coming out for Mortal Kombat Mobile. It looks like they're adding in like Spawn and stuff like that. I might have to check that out sometime. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it looks like alongside this, NetherRealm will be having some layoffs. So it's come amid one of the toughest periods for the video game industry in recent memory. Thousands have lost their jobs over the last 2 years as publishers and developers struggle in an increasingly difficult market. Microsoft announced 1,900 jobs would be lost from its gaming business this year. Sony announced 900. But I don't see a number for NetherRealm as far as how many people are losing their jobs. I don't see an exact number for that. Did you see a number for that?
No, I didn't see it. They're just saying, "Hey, we're laying off people," but I saw something else, but that was more like a Microsoft, not an actual NetherRealm themselves.
Well,
That's Microsoft saying, "Hey, 1,900 jobs could be lost from its gaming business this year, out of the countless that they've already kind of laid off." But I don't know if that's like directly tied to that. I don't know if that many people even work at NetherRealm.
It's Mortal Kombat. It's a big studio. Like games being supported all the time. The new one just came out like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
so,
like 1,900 of like 3,000 people. That'd be insane.
Yeah, that's almost all of them.
Yeah, I saw that mentioned, but I don't know if that's like directly tied to NetherRealm.
I don't think it is. I don't think they put out an actual number. I'm sure we'll get it, but I don't see a number right now as far as the layoffs.
Yeah, once people actually get laid off.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. What else do we got?
Do you want to get into the big one with your Evo stuff?
Yeah, we can just run through everything else. So yeah, Evo has started, and we talked about it every year. You're not a fighting game guy. I am not a competitive person, but I always think it's cool to like check out some of the top fights from these. But the lineup is Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Grand Blue, Fantasy versus Rising, Under Night Birth 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which is pretty shocking, King of Fighters 15, Guilty Gear Strive, and Mortal Kombat 1. And so those are the games that are in the tournament lineup. And you could see, like, if you go on their website, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, so it looks like as of right now, because I think they're doing everything on Twitch, today is day one for it. They're currently the Street Fighter 6 Pool 1, Tekken 8 Pools Round 1, Third Strike, it's Round 1's going on right now, and I think Grand Blue, whatever Uni 2 is, and then Guilty Gear is all like doing like their rounds are like currently like their first rounds are all going except for the Uni 2, whatever that stands for. I just can't read.
Under Night
like
and Birth.
Yeah, most people like today is like their first round of a few second rounds are kind of going on, and then obviously tomorrow it looks like it's the real big. Hey, everything starts to shrink.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, they do like their top 24 at the end of the day, and then obviously last day on Sunday it's when they're doing like, hey, the final of like their top 4, like Grand Blue, Guilty Gear, Tekken 8, and then Street Fighter are all doing like their top 6 all day tomorrow back to back.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. You can watch it on Twitch and stuff.
Yeah, so if you actually went to their actual website and their actual program guide, it'll tell you like, hey, what Twitch channel that it's on. So apparently they've got 7 different channels, but it's like, hey, is it on their main one all the way through EVO 7 and stuff like that. So they actually have the hard link and where you can watch it and like what time it's gonna start and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I definitely like to see like those final kind of rounds and people that playing like crazy. I like to see
and
that.
apparently, just because I missed it, apparently tomorrow all day on their main channel that's doing the what's it, King of Fighter or something like that, Mortal Kombat 1, that Uni 2, and then Third Strike. Their top 6 happening all day tomorrow, as well as why the other ones. I think the bigger ones, which is Grand Blue, Guilty Gear, Tekken 8, and Street Fighter, are probably the 2 biggest ones.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just like, hey, come in, watch the pool, or if you just want to watch, the top 6 and stuff like that, it's on this channel at this time, lasting, this long and stuff like that.
Mr. Coffee asks, single or double stitch for those shirts? Oh, those shirts are double stitched. Those shirts are single stitched. They're single dingles. That's what we call them.
Dingle dingle.
And then Mr. Coffee said, my cousin is at Evo competing. So that's crazy.
That's great. Hopefully it gets pretty far.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it's cool that you can watch it live on Twitch and stuff. I'd tune into that and just watch like here and there. I think it's pretty cool.
So they on their post they had the Evo presented by Chipotle. Don't forget that they make terrible food.
I hate Chipotle.
Their registration leaderboards. Street Fighter 6 had like 5,200. Tekken 8 had 4,600. Guilty Gear had just over 2,000. Grand Blue 1,300. Street Fighter 3 had 1,100. So it's Under Night and Birth 2 had just shy of 800. Mortal Kombat 1 about 650, and then the King of Street Fighter had about 375. So you can very easily see which are the big games compared to some of the smaller ones they've got.
Yeah.
Just by numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, Evo's pretty interesting, man. Like they sell a bunch of different products there that you can get, like fight sticks and stuff, like custom Evo fight sticks and things like that. That would be really cool to get there.
Apparently, as I was rolling through more, apparently they had a community showcase as well for Blaze Blue, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, DNF Duel, Samurai Showdown, Soul Calibur 6, Skullgirls, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, was it Killer Instinct, a different Guilty Gear game, and more that are there, but they're more like just general showcase if you're actually were able to make this in Vegas.
Insane. Yeah, it looks like that'd be a lot of fun to go to, I think.
Just to experience it and stuff like that.
Yeah, just to take it in and watch people do that.
But it's like
time.
half like tournament, half like a.
It's like a
convention,
and yeah, they've made it to where it is like sort of convention like.
Because you might go there for like 1 or 2 games. You might not care about all the games. I want to go there for 1 or 2 games. Well, that's great. What are you gonna do for like the next 6 hours until the actual thing starts? Well, like, hey, here's another. essentially like a convention, and it just brings people in that might otherwise not be all that interested in the actual fighting scene, but they come here for a lot of the extras and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I love fighting games. I'm just like a lot of these, like I could never play. Like I love Guilty Gear Strive, but I could never play it competitively. I played with every character, and some of these games it's very hard to get a grip on the combo systems. Trying to remember,
you just have to play like one game and just play it religiously.
That's
to get really
the thing, right? You can't like enjoy all of these fighting games.
You have to like know the meta.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to know the actual in and out of the mechanics, and you just play like one game religiously, like 12 hours a day, essentially.
Like Street Fighter 3 Third Strike on there. That is a completely different game than like Street Fighter 6, and like that. I mean, even that with like the combo system and the movement of it, like that would be a huge difference. So you would have to play. Like these people got to play one game and get that one game. They can't have fun with all these other fighting games because they're going to get confused. You get confused.
It's too much, and you're gonna. Somebody else will be more dedicated. You're gonna start dropping off leaderboards. You have to like essentially commit to one game.
It's like
which is unfortunate.
I remember watching this like mini documentary on YouTube about this guy that played Call of Duty competitively, and like watch you play like 12 hours a day practicing.
It's pretty much like a job at that point.
It was a job. And he was like, he was burnt out. Like he was tired of it. He said, I don't even enjoy video games anymore. Like this isn't fun anymore, but this is how I'm making my living. And he's actually, pulling in all this money. So like he's doing it. He's got a trainer and everything for Call of Duty. And it's very interesting watching people like competitively try to play these games. Something I could never do. The dedication you'd have to one single game is just something I could never be interested in.
To just be competitive, and for most of these games, you're only going to be probably at the top peak for only so long before people are just gonna get better than you, and you're gonna start dropping off.
Yeah, I just like playing fighting games for fun, man. Like when it gets too competitive, that's when I don't like it. Like it's hard for me to play Smash Brothers with random people, for instance. I don't do it. I'll only play that with friends now. You jump in with some of those players, you can't even play. You're already getting knocked off the map immediately. Like I'm not good at these games. But I enjoy them. And I say it all the time. I'm not a good gamer, but I enjoy video games. So
I do this for fun. Like if I get too into it, I'm getting too worked up. Like I just step away. Like I'm not having fun.
Yeah. So. What else we got? Something about a Nintendo Switch accessory there?
Yeah, I did see this because obviously we're expecting the Switch Successor to come out next year. The big thing is we're expecting to hear probably around this sometime in September, the direct or something like that. We're expecting to ideally hear about what the Switch Successor is going to be. But Nintendo, surprisingly, 7 years in, came out and said, here's a brand new accessory for the Switch at pretty much the end of its life cycle. So essentially coming on October 7th, it's, if you haven't already heard, it's like a two-way Joy-Con dock that'll just charge your Joy-Cons, which seems really good if you've got more than one set of Joy-Cons, because obviously if it's just you're just gonna plug them into your Switch, put it in the dock, and they're gonna charge just fine. But essentially it's a standalone charger just for the Joy-Cons. So, and obviously it's not just the Joy-Cons. There's other accessories that kind of use it. There's their NES controller pretty much works the same way as far as the charging and stuff like that. From what they showed. So it's like useful, but like why bring this out at the end of its life cycle unless they're using a similar, at the very least, like a connection type with whatever the Switch successor is going to be. Or else this just seems kind of pointless to come out at the very end. Like, why not have this come out like 5 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I was trying to pull something, but I can't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're expecting this to be about what, $20 for this, which
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not more.
Me too. I'd buy this to have an extra set of Joy-Cons charged at all times.
I don't even have an extra set.
I don't either right now, but well, I mean, like, so I have, like, I've got the two Joy-Cons. One of mine has drift, so I can't even use them anyway. But I've got stuff like this that are like Joy-Cons that use the rail
Yeah.
system because I've got the GameCube ones too. So like, it fits on those. I would use that to keep those charged. So I guess technically I do, and I got 2 sets of those the Hori grips that are like this. I've got 2 sets of those as well. I did buy a set of those Zelda Joy-Cons, but I didn't open them, and I ended up selling it. I kind of wish I hadn't sold it, but I never opened them. I just thought they were cool. But yeah, I mean, I would buy it. And I can't show you, but I have a dock right now already for Joy-Cons. Yeah, so I don't even need it. I have a dock right now that, and it's official. It's a Nintendo one, that charges your, Pro controller and a set of Joy-Cons. So, and it's an official Nintendo product. I don't buy any, like, third-party charging stuff. I just don't trust it. But that got discounted at Walmart for like $15. I wanted it for a long time, and it was like $50. Like dropped down like 15, and I grabbed it. But I mean, it's the same thing minus the Pro controller charging spot, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Pro controller charging thing is the big reason I bought that because I don't really use Joy-Cons.
But I think it's less this itself. It's more of like, why release this at the very end of the Switch's life unless there's more than likely going to be some similarities.
They're going to keep the rail
with the next
system
console.
probably, and it's going to charge those too. I guarantee it. I don't know why they never made the Wii U pad work with the Switch. I just don't understand.
They probably just wanted to fully disconnect from the Wii U.
I mean, there are so many things that could have been done with that.
It'd just be probably confuse too many people, cause probably marketing problems. They just wanted to fully avoid it outright.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, the problem with that whole thing outright.
All right, do you read books in 2024, Mark?
Yes and no. I read more manga than actual books, but the books I do read tend to be tied to like other IPs that I already play or watch and stuff like that. As far as games or movies and anime and stuff like that. And I read a lot more stuff, like probably on a computer, than I do like actual hard books. But I still have plenty of books themselves.
You don't read physical books?
I do. I've got a whole shelf of physical books right here.
Yeah, but that's just for show. You don't read them.
No, I read all those books. The only one that's for show is the Spice and Wolf one, because I don't want to damage it.
Oh, man.
All that much.
All right, what is your biggest news source for general news? Any type of news, where do you tend to get your news from the most?
A weird question.
Do
you read? Do you read books in 2024?
No, I don't. I
I
haven't read a book
over that.
I haven't read a book in many years.
I mean, I got plenty of books.
I do have 2 books lined up that I need to read that somebody gave me, and there's some. One of them was a book from 50 Cent that he wrote, and it's like I forget what it's called. And there's another one that I do have lined up that I want to read, but I haven't read anything in a long time. Not including manga, because I have read some manga, but
yeah, because I mean, they're not manga, but they're adjacent. Because I kind of said I got other books of Spice and Wolf, the actual light novel, because I didn't want to damage my big one, and then there were some Tenchi Muyo ones that I bought as well. That's more what I read than anything else.
Mr. Coffee said, one theory is the rails are going to be slightly different on the Switch 2, so the old Joy-Cons won't charge properly.
I guess only time will tell.
Yeah.
That theory actually comes true. I mean, I'm sure it could be a possibility.
So where's your biggest news source?
Why are you asking this question first?
I don't know. You didn't put any
Like
questions in there.
news for what?
General news, life of what's going on, anything.
I probably see more of it on YouTube than anything else.
Okay, from what YouTube channel?
For like more pop culture gaming related
No,
stuff,
for
it's probably more.
anything.
Well, because it varies. For more pop culture game related stuff, it's a mixture between probably the Quartering. Though I haven't watched them that much recently, but more like Rev Says Desu and what's it, Yellow Flash. They tend to cover more like the controversial stuff and like gaming anime industry and stuff like that.
I thought you watched like what's his name, Moist Critical and
Not that
Penguin.
often.
Is that his name?
Penguin. It's Moist Critical. It's,
Okay.
it's all Charlie.
He was on the Steve-O podcast. That was pretty interesting hearing him talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
You should watch that because how he started making videos that people don't know about is freaking hilarious. I can't say it on here because we'll get flagged for sure. But you should watch that. If you like him at all,
Worth looking into.
it's a really good podcast. Yeah, a news source for me. The reason I put this in here is because I don't really have like a general news source. I don't go to one place for anything.
No, I go to a bunch of different places.
Spawn,
Depends on what I'm.
I watch
what I'm
the
looking
Spawn
for.
Wave. I watch Spawn Wave every morning. He does a new show Monday through Friday. So that for like the gaming and stuff like that, I watch that. I do watch that every day. But like I don't have cable, and I don't have like any news like attached to my phone that I'm getting delivered to my phone. So it's just like kind of all over. And one of the things I had the thought in my mind was like news is everywhere and like unavoidable because any of the stuff that like happened this week, I don't watch any of those outlets that were covering it. Any mainstream.
No, I mean there's
news.
more like YouTube / podcast stuff that I watch, but I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole personally.
Yeah. Do you prefer consoles or handhelds?
I prefer consoles. That's what I'm more usually playing games in one location than I'm on the road. I'm just not traveling as consistently to where that's like my primary source to be able to play games.
Gotcha. I like to play.
What about you?
I think I like to play handheld. It's just easier for me to play handhelds more right now. It's hard to be tethered to a console. I like playing the Switch in handheld mode if I'm laying down or sitting on the couch.
If I'm in bed, I'm like sleeping, but if I'm at home, usually I'm like on my computer or on a console or something like that. Because if I'm out, I usually, even if I bring my Switch, I usually don't even end up playing it. I end up doing other stuff.
I do that too. Yeah, if I bring it out, I don't even end up touching it. Do you like anime or manga better?
Tough one. I like both. I think I've watched anime more just because it's easier, but for a longer running series, I think manga's better. Like if you're watching like One Piece or something like that, or My Hero Academia, it's easier to read the manga. Get to the story faster.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, there's like, the debate of the manga, everything's canon. So like you're getting the full story.
Well, because the anime's based off of manga, so that's what you run into.
And some anime adaptations are different than the manga. They don't, directly source the manga. They kind of
so it's usually considered not canon at that point.
I like that though. I think to me, I always found it weird that like you'd want to read and watch the exact same thing. Like I kind of would rather see something different than what I've already read with the manga. But that's just me.
Fair enough.
Know. So, and what do you have for your anime corner this week?
This one
wrap up here soon.
Yeah, so this one was more of like something I had actually recently got in the mail that I'd bought and I actually started watching. So this is Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. Because I think I was on Amazon like a week or two ago and I just saw it and bought it. It was on Blu-ray. This is one of those older anime. I think it aired in 1990, but it actually had a proper Blu-ray upscale. They say 4K. The box is 1080p, but it looks like it's one of those anime. Obviously, it's still in its 4:3 format, but it looks really good. Even like I put it in my PlayStation on my 55-inch, and it looks really good for what at this point, like a 35-year-old anime at that point. Like, it looks like they actually went through and did the work to where it doesn't look like it's not pixelated. It looks like it actually properly fits on the screen. And for those who don't know, essentially, it was kind of like a mixture between NHK, Toho, and Korad. I don't even know if they exist anymore. They originally reached out to Hayao Miyazaki in the 70s as far as like the concept and stuff like that, but it didn't really go anywhere until the late 80s. When they got a hold of Gainax, and this was actually made by Hideki Anno, I didn't butcher his name, who went on to obviously make Neon Genesis immediately after this. And it was originally inspired by Jules Verne's work, particularly 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, because if you've read that book and you watch this, you realize there's an actual Captain Nemo who pilots I was trying to figure out the Nautilus, which is and this shows a submarine. I don't know if it's any different because I haven't read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but there's definitely inspiration and stuff that was pulled. But it follows a young boy inventor named Jean, who's from France, and then he's infatuated with this girl from the circuit who's Nadia, and she's got like a small little pet line and stuff like that. But the story's supposed to be based in 1889. They said the whole pinnacle of discoveries and stuff like that. Like it's the late 19th century. They're still messing around with flight and stuff like that. But there's it kind of starts because there's like this one woman with her two goons after Nadia because she's got a jewel, what they call the the secret of blue water, what it's called or something like that. The actual name for pendant, and that leads them into it's like, oh, we're gonna escape. In his little flying contraption, it crashes. They obviously run into the Nautilus, which then leads into apparently an eagle organization, a gargoyle, who's looking for what they call Atlantean technology, which is this 12,000-year-old empire and technology that was like way above its time and stuff like that. And obviously the whole thing is trying to figure out like Nadia's past, how she's related to this very odd quasi relation with this ancient Atlantean society and stuff like that, and it's just kind of going down that rabbit hole to kind of figure out and explore everything. I think I'm only about 10 episodes in or something like that right now, but I think it's pretty decent. It's got a lot of I think it's got a decent mix between upbeat and quasi or fairly dark storytelling. It goes back and forth, but I think it does pretty decent stuff like that. Obviously, if you really dig into it, there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes with Hideki Anno in the show that kind of led him down the road to depression that he's really famous for when he was making Ava and stuff like that. And then obviously Ava was supposed to be like a spiritual successor or like a sequel to this show. There was issues with the IP that didn't happen, and then it got scrapped, made into what we know now is with Ava and stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting. A lot of interesting behind the scenes with this show, but it's kind of classified as like adventure, steampunkish. There are some steampunk aspects to it. Was made by Gainax Studio. Obviously they've made a lot of good stuff, especially back in the day. Gainax this show was commercially successful, and made NHK a lot of money. Gainax actually lost money on this because of like licensing and stuff like that. They went into the red until Neon Genesis Evangelion actually got them out of the hole and stuff like that, which is crazy. The series that they made a lot of money, but financially it almost ruined the studio outright and stuff like that. There's currently from what I saw, no like legit streaming for this movie, but obviously you can fairly easily find the Blu-ray like on Amazon, because I think it was back in 22, 23 or something like that when it actually got its Blu-ray upscale and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to find online. It's a 39 episode series. I'm looking forward to taking my time, but I'm definitely enjoying it. Very quickly became one of my more favorite, anime openings, because that's like a whole genre in and of itself.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that, but obviously there's some other stuff around it, because there's people who said like, and I guess you can see it where I don't know if they came out and said it, but Disney's Atlantis Lost Empire. Some people say, hey, they took like direct inspiration from this, but then again, this took inspiration from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So it's just like different works, taking inspiration from other things and stuff like that. Maybe when I finish the show, I have a more of a view on like maybe they got more directly kind of ripped off of it. Maybe, who knows? But the whole theme of like Atlantis isn't like new. It goes back to the ancient Greeks and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'm enjoying what I'm watching. I definitely would recommend it and stuff like that. So
yeah, I would. I don't know. For me, I would probably give it like a 2 out of 10. I don't care for it too much.
have you actually watched it?
No.
You have no idea what he's talking about.
No idea what I'm talking about. No, I will. I'll check that out. Sounds pretty cool though.
Oh, and I actually didn't say, because this is pretty rare for media even today. And this Blu-ray, it actually had a little pamphlet in the Blu-ray. It's not all that big, but it had some like basic little art and discussions and stuff like that, which is pretty, as far as like DVDs, even anime, it's pretty rare and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
I just wanted to shout that out. I thought it was pretty neat. Because usually it's just the plastic and the Blu-rays, so.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
Didn't know if you want to go on to your little your game showcase now.
I mean,
Do you have anything for it?
We can, yeah. Did you want to? I thought you wanted to skip it this week. No, so all right, this week switching it up a little bit. It's not going to be a retro spotlight. It's going to be kind of a funny spotlight. So this is actually a long, ongoing series. We talked about it briefly before the podcast, but it's the Crazy Chicken series, and there's actually 2 of them on PS5. I think there may be a third. I'll have to look it up. But this is actually 2 games in one right here. This is Wanted and Crazy Chicken Remake Shooter Edition. So it's got 2 of the games there. And then this is Crazy Chicken Extreme, which I have not opened yet. I did play this. Absolutely terrible game. Horrible. I could see how this could be a lot funner on the Wii, although the Wii one is still not great. But it made more sense.
Arguably terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But it feels like it's made for the Wii, and you're using a PS5 controller. Now, Crazy Chicken Extreme is a little bit different, where it's like, I think a 3D platformer or something. It's a little bit different. It's like it looks like it's a platformer. Chase cheeky chickens across a mystical campsite. Hunt them down in the old walls of a knight's castle and show off your aiming skills in a medieval marketplace. So, I don't know. It's kind of funny because the back of one of them says Ultra HD 4K, and like these games are games you would not want to see in 4K.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, Funbox Media, which we talked about, Funbox, they're the one that put out that Perky Little Things game for Switch. They put out a bunch of those adult games. So they actually put this out, Funbox Media. They're the ones that put out all those weird adult games that are like puzzle games and stupid stuff. But then I look at this one. This is actually GS2 Games, which is they're like a GameStop publisher. So, and then it says Marked Technic. So kind of interesting there. And looks like this one has online play as well. So if you want to play Crazy Chicken Extreme online, you can check those out. There may be a third game on PS5. I cannot remember. If there is, I need to get it. But yeah, there's definitely a game on the Wii. There's a game on the. There's several of them. So
I'm curious to see how popular that online game is.
I would like to see too if anybody's actually on there. I need to check that.
Just you.
I need to check that out. There have been many times where I've pulled up games to play with people and nobody's on. So.
You know the crazy thing, because you brought up like the old the Flash game type games. That reminded me, like, one of the more out of their Flash games was a game called like Bunny Invasion 2. Where it's the concept of like Castle Defender, but you're upgrading your weapons and they're just essentially killer bunnies as you're on top of a bar and you just you shoot them as they come towards you. There was like an old, just speaking like Flash games, there was like an old it was like a shooter game, but it was like side scroller platformer shooter game that I remember used to play at school and stuff like that. So you'd have like 4 of y'all would hop on and just play in like one lobby or something like that.
Are you talking about Bunny Raiders?
This one's Bunny Invasion, but there's a bunch of Flash games I
I
can't
had
remember.
Bunny Raiders on the PS5 actually.
There was what was it like a rabbit launch or like a cat like a cat
Oh,
catapult
the
game?
cat catapult. Yeah, what was that called? I remember that. I remember that now. Yeah, you were trying to get as far as you could.
It was just like a go as far, get lucky with some
It's
bounces
one
and
of those
stuff like
stupid
that.
games. Yeah, there was a couple of those like weird games that like hit off. They got super popular. But yeah, that was
Especially in
one.
that Flash game era.
Oh god, I miss that, man. Free games to play online. Some of them were really good. A lot of them were crap, but it was like cool because they were free. Do you remember the Stickman games? Stickman Arena and Stickman.
A little bit. Like one of the Stickman games I definitely remember was the Fancy Pants games.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's different than what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking.
I always went on Mini Clip. That's where I played all mine. Mini Clip is.
Did you like find a way to bypass like the school's
Yeah.
block?
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's a thumb drive. Just plug it in. You're not gonna get in trouble.
Dude,
at all.
I would get on.
Bypasses the firewall.
I would get on Insider and stuff at school, dude. Yeah, I miss those days. Fun times.
That Flash is non-existent anymore, unfortunately.
It is not, but Internet Archive does have stuff backed up, so that's.
I mean, you can still go on and surprisingly, you can still go on and play these games. It's just not Flash. Just isn't supported or something like that. I don't know how it works.
It is weird that Flash is just non-existent now.
Oh, it was the game. There was a game called Raise. I think that's what I was thinking of.
That. Remember Flappy Bird?
It's pretty much a Flash game.
It pretty much is. I mean, you literally just tap the screen.
Yeah, so it was a game called RAZE. It was like a Flash game, side scroller platform shooter essentially. So you'd hop on with other people, and kind of like any other shooter game. But I definitely remember playing that at school a few times. Where it's like, oh, we got like 20 minutes in computer class. Let's not do any actual work.
Yeah.
Teacher's gone.
Teacher's gone. Yeah, so we got that, and then looks like we got two other things to quickly mention. So we checked out the trailers. We've got a final trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine. What did you think on that? Comes out next week. I know we pretty much agree on the Marvel stuff, but this one might be. I think
The last good movie.
I think it's definitely gonna. It looks like it's gonna be an excellent movie. I've liked every
I think it's
trailer.
pretty decent.
And then the fact that X-23's in it is a big deal for me because I love that character.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought the trailer looked really good, and this trailer was different in where it was showing more of the story beats. You know what I mean? Rather than just like a silly clip or a silly action scene or whatever. This was showing a little bit more story beats of what's actually going on. So this shows the most of all of them. Still not a lot, nothing to spoil you, but you see a lot of Deadpool without his mask in the trailer, and you see the Logan scene where he's coming out of the you remember where he goes like this and he's coming out of the tank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see that, and it flashes back to Logan, the movie Logan. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting they're flashing back to that movie. And
I might try to go Thursday and Thursday night try to watch.
I'll try to go too. We could do a review on this if you want.
Yeah, it might be worth trying to do.
Yeah, all right. You guys heard it. We're going to do a review on this one. And then the last thing I want to mention is that there was another trailer for Dragon Ball Daima, which I'm very excited about. Obviously, one of Akira's final works because he was directly involved in this. I thought the trailer looked excellent. I think the style for it, the way it looks, I think is really cool. I think it looks beautiful. Given that it is digital, it still keeps the aesthetic and everything of Dragon Ball, and it works. It
works really well.
Yeah, I think it looks beautiful, and I'm really excited for it. One of the things I read on here, it said, despite being met with criticism upon its announcement, Dragon Ball Daima has an opportunity to fix the biggest mistakes of the series from Z and Super. So, Daima is a made-up term. This is from Akira Toriyama. Daima is a made-up term which in Japanese characters would be, I don't know what this characters say, or in English would be something like evil. Due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. So it almost gives me GT vibes, even too, with
Yeah, a
that
little
part.
bit. I was sitting here, I'm like, I don't know how this fits in. Then again, I don't know what are the big downfalls of the franchise.
Well,
So
Super had a lot of I think generally people think Super had a lot of just in comparison to Z, the story arcs just aren't the same. I think earlier on in Super they were pretty intensive, and up to what's the guy's name? Daggone, I can't remember the guy's name. Purple guy. Up to him, I think, is where probably the best part of the series was, which would have been up to like
yeah, are you talking about
episode.
Boo? Well, I think
No,
it's more pink.
no. This he's purple, and he's after
Is this in Z or Super?
super
Sorry.
super.
Oh yeah, then I got no idea. I haven't watched Super.
Yeah, so this is it's up to like episode 60 or so or something, and I think that's probably the best stretch of the show. But no, I'm very interested to see what they do. Akira Toriyama seemed pretty excited about it. Um, I didn't know that Daima was like a made up term for evil, so that's interesting. But yeah, I can't wait to watch it. So,
Yeah, definitely.
all right, do you have any closing thoughts there, Mark?
No, I didn't know if these community notes that you had or community questions were still good or those were old down at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Okay.
Just wanted to double check that real quick before you miss them.
Lurgan Almond said, "Are you ever continuing the Sonic React series you did a few years ago? I remember you said you were, but maybe you just stopped it?" Question mark. That is up to Mark.
It's just a matter of trying to get back and trying to do some of that stuff. I know we've talked about some ways to do more content and some reaction stuff. 'Cause I know some people do like they'll like do reactions while doing live streams and they cut it up, put it into YouTube videos and stuff like that. And we've kind of talked about that, but we haven't like had anything like set in stone yet. So
Yeah, I would like to start something, start doing something. I think it's, I mean, with the amount of time I work a week and then everything else, kid and stuff like that, I feel like there's it shouldn't be a problem at all to be able to get like, I don't know, say a stream a week from one of us, or um a video that we do together, or something like that. Something where there is still stuff consistently coming out. You know, Mark wants to do that. That's up to him. I enjoyed that React stuff. It's fun, simple stuff, and it's some of our most commented and really built. I mean, a lot of the community on YouTube. So a lot
yeah,
of people came from those videos, and then trailer reactions and stuff like that. I think they're fun. So I'm not necessarily against much of anything unless it's something really stupid, but people like that still comment on that. Actually, funny enough, I before we close up, I want to read something that, because Mark may have missed it. Do we have any comments, by the way?
I made some stuff from Mr. Coffee. It said the last book I read was Vampire Hunter D Volume 1. I've never read that.
Oh, I have.
Is that my video game news I watch? Spawn Wave in the morning. My local news station does these 5-minute videos going over news in the morning and afternoon. I remember watching that, but I don't have cable TV, so I don't do that. Oh, good point. What happened regarding that shoot? My mother called from the South America telling me about it, and I watched some report hours later. I was in the middle of watching Blade Runner. Did I miss what we were talking about then when he said that?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was trying
Sorry.
to pull up this. You're good. I was trying to pull up this
Yeah,
comments
no.
from earlier.
Was it on New? Oh, New. Yeah, I remember Newground being a decent site. I don't know if I.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
I
yeah,
probably
yeah.
was there a few times for some Flash games. One issue was GT kind of went back to Dragon Ball type of stories, aimed more at a younger audience. Yeah, I don't think Toriyama was really all that involved. I thought maybe I'm wrong, but I thought GT was. They wanted to do more, but Toriyama didn't want to tell more stories.
Yeah, he was pretty done at that point. He didn't want to do anything beyond that.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the studio wanted to keep doing it more. Also, the art style was a step back to Z. I like Z's art style. I like the original Dragon Ball as well. The more like
The
smaller, like the
original
not
Dragon Ball is
world.
my favorite. Still,
Like the problem with the only negative you could say was Z is it was like one world-ending disaster after another. Like they
a lot
weren't
of
like small contained stories. It was like this big planet-ending threat and stuff like that.
yeah, a lot of Red Room Army stuff. It was a smaller scale, but it was more of an adventure show
Yeah,
rather than like
which
a fighting shonen show. If that makes
yeah,
sense.
like it definitely changed when it went from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, so I wanted to read a couple of these. I can't find the exact one that was actually just like a few hours before the podcast for some reason. Actually, I did just find it. We got one from Don King Prodigy. He's got a Trump profile picture too, by the way. Said Brandon
Yeah.
and Mark, do you support Trump? We need to know. Doesn't make any
Like
sense. It's on episode 80's podcast too. That's like
oh wow.
12 episodes ago, and this is 6 hours ago.
I mean, I know who I'm voting for presidential election, but you're not going to know that. It's not relevant to the podcast or the YouTube page. So it's for me to know and for you to never know. So
we got another guy, Donnie Heatwave 01Y said Mark with the ear scratching is funny, and he timed it at 58:31 on episode 88.
so what did I just scratch my ear to perfect like timestamp or something like that, or
I don't know. Commenting back, and then the other one was where was it? I'm trying to find it.
I did go back and I saw somebody like, does Mark never comment on these?
There's a bunch. We get that's all the time. People
depends on like
commenting.
where I'm commenting from, but it's like sometimes I get busy and I just forget to go back to the. I'll go back to like episodes like 2 weeks later, like I completely forgot. I got sidetracked with other stuff. Like I'm just really busy with
I think I just scrolled through
I just
like
don't think about it sometimes.
probably 6 of the stuff like that. Yeah, and then we got.
And the really is if I don't comment, I'll eventually see it and stuff like that. It's just yeah.
And then the last thing I
perfect.
wanted to mention
Sorry.
was I did a poll on if people liked 2D or 3D Metroid better, and 2D won out by a lot of votes. So I was pretty shocked by that. I guess it wasn't, but
I was just gonna say we can't all have a correct opinion when it comes to Metroid. Unfortunately,
did you vote on that one?
I don't remember, but I would. If I did, I would have voted for the 3D personally.
Yeah,
I prefer the Prime games.
I think I would still vote 2D, but I love them all. I mean, I like the 3. They're different games. You know what I mean? They're different types.
Yeah,
of
I would call it like they're different. They're similar, but they're not. They're very different games. I'd agree with that.
And then we did get a comment that said Switch 2. This is 2 days ago. Switch 2 is holiday 2024, according to an X post today.
I feel like we would have heard about it if it was coming out holiday 2024 by now.
Yeah, I feel like we probably would have too. But all
I
right,
think they'd come out like 2 months prior and be like, "Oh, is this coming out in 2 months?"
yeah. Oh, and by the way, we've been getting comments from a VTuber apparently, because we got Maggie VTuber is at Maggie VTuber is the name. They've been commenting a lot, but I made a post about not having the podcast last week, and they said thoughts and prayers. And
Stuff happens.
Left a few other comments. So
yeah, because I think you posted a few things, but I don't know if it got obviously got reached to everybody and stuff like that. But
yeah, so all right, well, this is a good episode. Do you have any closing thoughts, Mark?
I did. I'll let you do yours real quick. I gotta pull it right back up.
Yeah, just be sure to if you're listening to the audio podcast, be sure to follow on that platform, rate if you can, and then download the episodes. Downloading helps, and you can download on every platform. It's free. It doesn't take much time, and I mean you can delete them, after, but it does help us quite a bit. Obviously, I would love to get more eyes on the video podcast, and that's why we're doing Twitch as well. But we do need to get that promoted out there because we're kind of just doing it and not really letting people know. But yeah, just follow the socials. Got stuff every single day. Posting every day on all the socials. Got a new short up today, and yeah, there's gonna be some stuff coming up. Me and Mark are going to talk, and we'll figure out some of the different content that he would like to do or that we can do together and things like that. So definitely got some cool stuff coming up. I got a video filmed I need to finish editing that I will have out soon, and then I think we're going to film something together again. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming out, so be sure to follow, subscribe, like, and all that jazz.
Yeah, all I just wanted to say was just don't worry about that. Hector's gonna be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. Top of that, just came into Harry's ordered 3 T66 turbos with NOS, Motec system exhaust. So I mean, be careful out there.
All right, you heard it here first. Everybody have a great one. We'll see y'all later.